Everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Wednesday following the FOMC meeting. We've got a big run up in cryptos, especially Dogecoin, and that is why I'm starting early, Ryan, is because we had a big pump going, and I was like, I'm not waiting until 5. I'm going to start at 4, and we'll just have an extended live stream. So we got a lot to cover because finally we're seeing some breakouts after a big pullback. Of course, when you zoom out, it just still doesn't look so great. We got a long ways to go back. But on the daily, it's just this. It's that green candle there. But that green candle is just a start. It's just a start. And on the daily, what I now have is a wedge. Yes, Kriss has identified a new wedge. And my previous wedges that I've shown have led to great things. So, great things coming. We'll get to all of that. Let me just bring that back into zoomed in so we can see what's happening with the prices. We got a lot to cover. That's right. And not only with Doge, we're going to cover a little bit of Bitcoin. We got some ETH stuff going on, got some futures trading stuff. And we have, what did we just have? Short squeezes. Yes. This little run here has squeezed out the shorts, millions of dollars in Dogecoin. That's right, Dogecoin. People who are shorting Dogecoin just got squeezed out in the last hour. So we will cover that as well. So let me drop down here in the corner and let me get into the chat to begin with before we get to the news. Because Fire Legend was ready. Yes, ready. Pork chop, run little dog. That's what we've got going on. Yes, Ryan, I'm early and I know you've got some work to do, but you can listen in, right? You can always listen in. Charts are always good to look at. Jason, how you doing? What's up? Hello, Alexander. Good talk to you. Nice run from DM. We will talk about Shib, Matt, in a little bit. We do have a little thing on Shib, and that will be coming as well. Dogecoin to the moon. Charles, looks like we're early. Doge pump right on time. That's right. And that's why I was like, I'm sitting around and I'm just like starting to get ready. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. So what is FOMC? What is the actual? That's a good question. It doesn't come straight to my mind. What is FOMC? Dun, 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 dun. The Federal Open Market Committee. Thanks to Mr. Google there. The Federal Open Market Committee. So that's the Federal Reserve of the United States. And it's their Open Market Committee, which is composed of a bunch of people, not just Jerome Powell. He's just the lead. And I've got something to show on that, on their dot plots and what they think the interest rates are going to be going forward in the future. So, fear of missing coin. That's good. Jason loves the liquidations, the shorts getting smoked from gamer perception. That is correct. And of course, Nate, thank you very much. No change in interest rates. And not only this time, but next time too. In May is the next FOMC meeting. There's going to be all this hype about lowering interest rates, and they're not going to do it again in May. You will see. You will see. But there's talk of three rate hikes later this year. And I'm not buying that, but the markets are. So the markets are forward thinking, and they're thinking there's going to be 3 rate hikes. So probably we had a new all-time high for the S&P 500 today and the stocks. Crazy. But we've got crypto going up as well. So when will we all walk out like bosses with our profits? Samuel's best. That is a great question and is one we talk about a lot here on this channel. But now is not the time. Now is not the time. If you listen to Raul Paul, right? And I covered this a couple months ago when he said, don't F this up, guys. Don't F this up. This is wealth building, generational gains that we're going to be seeing in this cycle alone, probably more than any other cycle. And it's going to be happening. We're just getting started. And we're going to see through the summer and the fall, in my humble opinion, increasing gains, huge gains going forward. Now is not time to be selling. Now is not the time to be playing games. Trading with leverage, you're getting liquidated. Thinking price is going to go down, so you throw some money at some shorts and you get squeezed out and liquidated. There's still volatility up and down in trading. Again, we go back to this daily chart, and this is just on Dogecoin. These are big swings in the daily. Look at these huge swings, especially here on the 5th of March, where we went from 20 cents all the way down to 12.5 cents. And that was in one day. And we're going to see more and more of this. I mean, look at the volume on the daily volume starting on February 26th here. And this volume trading compared to what we had earlier in February. This is the volatility we expect when we're in the bull market. And we are in the bull market, but it's still early. But this sort of up and down volatility here, these are the things that shake weak hands out and liquidate the longs, squeeze out the shorts again and again and again. The market makers know what you're doing when you place leverage trades or when you're short. They know what your stop losses are. They know what your liquidation points are. And so don't do it. I know you look at these other YouTubers, I'm going to throw a 15x at this and a 20x at that. I mean, even George said he got liquidated on a whole bunch of stuff this week because he did. Because he let it ride, right? Thinking, oh, this is just getting started. We're gonna go higher. Nope. So you got to be careful with that. Me, a DCA, buying the dips and hold. Don't F this up, guys. This is the huge cycle that we are in now. Huge cycle that we are in. So, hey, Zippy, how are you? What's up for Android? Cooking and listening. Hope it's good, AMR. Hope it's good food. I had great food last week in Italy. Oh, that was so good. So good. Military Jock, welcome. Welcome. Alex, is our party just getting started? It is. We'll have some others joining us later, probably that think I'm not going on till 5. And I started early because we got stuff happening. And I wanted to capture all of that live instead of talking about it all in the past. So, listening for bed, too hungover. Hope it was good. Joshua, how are you? Should have a collaboration with probably David Mitchell. I've talked to him before. He was on my channel a couple years ago. Good guy. Good guy, does great TA, great news, honest opinion. I like David. Good guy. Okay. Mars is driving, but here. Yeah, don't look at the screen, dude. Don't look at the screen. Nothing to see here. Although Doge is up. 14.62 current price of Doge. Okay, there you go. Easy, how you doing? Harmonics. What do you think about BTC diminishing returns that is happening every halving? Yes, I agree. And I've charted that before as well. And I'm showing on the monthly chart sort of a parabolic curve instead of a straight line up on a logarithmic chart. So that is diminishing returns. Yes, it is decreasing percentage gains cycle after cycle after cycle. But this cycle might be different because of this BlackRock and Fidelity, these big ETFs and other institutions all getting into Bitcoin. And now we've got more countries talking about buying Bitcoin. The Bank of Japan? Would the Bank of Japan actually buy Bitcoin? Could happen. We don't know. We don't know. Zen, yep, on your lunch break. Must be on the West Coast. I'm here live covering Doge and other cryptos, of course. Got another little surprise if you hadn't seen my Twitter X account. Got a new fun thing going on there. Show you that in a minute. Jason's David taught me about cold wallets, getting your coins off exchanges. Very good at that. I say the same thing time and time again. Here is my Nano Ledger Nano S Plus that I use, which is my preferred hardware wallet. We can talk more about wallets going on, and a little bit of news about one particular software wallet that I really love that is seeing a lot of gains. A lot of gains is in new users, and those new users translate to Doge price going up as well. We'll get to that in a minute. Samuel says, you're the only streamer shoots it straight. Can't stand most of the others. Clickbait, looking for straight news. We got it here. We got it here. Thank you. And Bogdan Kulo, in you on the dip. What are you doing, man? No, I'm not into those. I'm not into those. Now, Could Kakenyu do well? Yeah, probably. It's got a lot of momentum. It is an avalanche meme that probably isn't going to crash as much as maybe the Solana memes might, but I'm not doing those. So really, I just cover the ones that make it to the top 100, which right now is, of course, Dogecoin. We got Shib, Whiff, Pepe, Floki, and Bonk comes in and out. So those are the ones on the meme side that I cover here. All those other things, I've got some warnings coming in a little bit about what not to do and what to look out for. There's a lot of crap going on. There's all this stuff about, what was it, Smurf or Snurf or whatever that was called. Some dev saying, I accidentally, sent all of the airdrop tokens to a burn wallet. There's no accidents. There's no accidents. You can't trust these. You don't even know who these people are. There's no accidents. So, lobster fishing from Maine, brand new to crypto. Very much enjoy your channel, learning a lot. Well, I'm just right down the street here in Boston. So enjoy your lobster fishing. I have a good lobster every now and then myself, mostly coming from Maine. So 420, just about. We're 3 more minutes until the time 420. That's cool. I love you too, Manisha. Welcome. Yeah, 420. We're almost there. Joseph, how are you? Trusting in Doge. Okay, let's get into it, guys. A lot to cover. What happened today? First of all, overall crypto market. We're seeing lots of green. Lots of green in the market because come FOMC time, it was like the market was kind of going up and down. It was a little recovery, but then everything really has taken off here. Here's Doge now up 11%. Of course, Floki and Pepe are kind of the biggest gainers on the meme side because they dumped a whole lot too. I mean, it was a big dump. So it doesn't surprise me they're recovering. Stacks, Fetch are up. Bonk up 10%, Render up 9%. So yeah, a lot of big gains. AOS pops back into the top 100. Kind of goes back and forth. Polkadot, I don't know, Samano. I don't know much about Polkadot. It's not a chain that is really being used that much. It's still up in the top. What is it now? Number 13 here. And it just, I don't know. There's other chains that are better. But obviously as still a number 13 cryptocurrency by market cap, there's still a lot of support for Polkadot, but I don't really follow it much. So, but speaking of the top cryptocurrencies, if you didn't see on my X Twitter account and you're showing and you're looking at what I've been up to, I started this fun thing because in the United States, it's March Madness, which is basketball time. And I had seen something like this had been done before, like 6 years ago. And I thought, well, wouldn't this be a fun thing to do? So you got to follow me at ChrissPax. So do follow me on X Twitter at ChrissPax. And I am kicking off Crypto March Madness 2024. This is a fun thing to do. I'm going to do daily polls, and it's going to be head-to-head, crypto to crypto. What's your favorite? And I took the top 20 cryptos. I took out the stable coins, and I did a drawing, and they randomly got put together into this bracket. And so this bracket is the bracket we're going to be having. Yeah, I don't know, Ryan, which one's going to win? It's going to be a poll, and it's going to be on X. Anybody can vote. So, I don't know. But interesting that Shib and Doge are going to go head-to-head in the first round. It just happened that way. In fact, I would rather that have not happened, but here it is, because, I mean, Shib Army gets a whiff of this, and they could just totally outvote Dogecoin in this. And Doge could lose in the first round, but we'll see. Polkadot is here against Toncoin. Here's Ethereum against Chainlink, Litecoin against BNB. And that is the left side bracket. The right side bracket has Avalanche against Cardano, Polygon against Solana, Bitcoin against Tron, and XRP against Bitcoin Cash. That is going to be the bracket. Every day there's going to be a poll. The poll is going to run for a day until the next one. And so every day there's going to be a competition head-to-head. The winner of the poll is the one that moves on. And this will finish right around the time of the final NCAA game is when this will run to. So we're going to have some fun with this. But if you follow me on X, Twitter, you'll get obviously the notifications that the next one is up. And I invite you all also to come in here, repost, retweet, quote tweet, use Dogecoin hashtags. If you want Doge to win, use Dogecoin hashtags with it. Get it out there in the Doge community because other communities are going to be voting on this too. But it's all open. Anybody can vote that has an X account. So that's what we're going to be doing. Also, just a reminder that I also posted this, which is a reminder of what happened back in 2021, where Dogecoin in April rocketed up from below 10 cents all the way up to 45 cents and then retraced all the way down to 16 cents. From 45 down to 16, and then rocketed up to its all-time high right around 74 cents. That is volatility. What we've just seen these past few days is nothing compared to what we had in 2021. So I just want to give some perspective there that Doge has had huge volatility in the past. And what we're seeing right now on the Doge chart is nothing compared to that. These are big swings, and certainly going from 20 cents all the way down to 12.5 cents in one day, that's big. But Doge has done a lot more. A lot more. So that's what we've got. And we almost just touched 15 again while I was talking. So we're still pumping, guys, still pumping. So what happened today? We had the Federal Reserve holds interest rates as predicted by yours truly. 3 cuts by the end of the year, though. And that comes from this thing that's called a dot plot. And they're basically saying by the end of 2024, how many commissioners think where the interest rate is going to be, which is interesting. So we're right now we're up here. And so there are 2 commissioners who think that interest rates are not going to be cut at all this year. 2 of them think there's going to be 1 cut. 5 of them think there's going to be 2 cuts. And 9 of them think there's going to be 3 cuts. So that's where that news headline of 3 cuts. And that is what the markets are reacting to. And by the end of 2025, the majority think there's probably going to be 3 more cuts in 2025. So the market's forward thinking. They like hearing that stuff. Interest rates going down is good because it helps spur people borrowing and investing. So that's all good. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't see that happening. I still think too many headwinds on the inflation side for us to just to throw that away. But we'll see. We'll see if Kriss is right or if these others are right. But all of this worry today about what it was going to be, it was a nothing burger. It was nothing. There wasn't going to be an interest rate cut. It just wasn't going to happen. So, God's mystery, how are you? Thank you for the super chat. You bought about 50,000 Doge at 15 cents. Would you sell or hold at this point? Thank you. So I am a believer in buying and holding until there is a significant run. Like I was just showing here. Like I was just showing here. Dogecoin has the possibility of going on huge runs. And for the past couple days, I've been talking about the catalyst for Dogecoin and what can cause Dogecoin to go on this kind of run again. We're having a good run on Doge now, but that's peanuts compared to what we know Doge can do in the future. And particularly with one Elon Musk, not only with Tesla and what he said last week at Giga Berlin about at some point in time accepting Dogecoin as payment for a Tesla car. That's the kind of thing that can send Dogecoin skyrocketing. And that's why most of the people here have bought a bunch of Dogecoin, because you're waiting for that. You're waiting for this big run up. Buying at 15 cents and then selling at 16 cents for peanuts of profits, then why? I mean, you can do that with any cryptocurrency. What you really want to do is look for the cryptos that can make a change, right? That can have an impact on you financially. Just scraping for $500 or $1,000 profit. I mean, that's nice to have the extra $500 or $1,000, but that's not going to change your life. That's not going to really have much of an impact like what happened in 2021, where millionaires were being made here. Millionaires were being made here. You got to know when to get out, though. Not like Glauber, who, the so-called Dogecoin millionaire, who held all the way through this, and then this went all the way back down, right? And he held all the way through. I mean, he was worth like over $3 million up here at the top. And he didn't take any profits. Now, I am also guilty of the same thing because like Glauber, I thought that Dogecoin was going to $1 as well. Like most of the people in the Doge world thought Dogecoin was going to $1. That's what everybody was talking about. This time, yeah, I'm probably going to start taking some profits on the way up. I'm not selling all of my Dogecoin. I'll never sell all my Dogecoin. And Mr. God's Mystery, one thing you may want to think about is, and we'll be talking about this when Doge eventually does start going on a run, is not selling all at one time, but sort of scalping or skimming, right, profits. So 10,000. Right? Not the whole 50,000 bag, but maybe you sell 10,000 of it at like double the cost when you're up at 30 cents, right? And then you've doubled that, right? You've doubled. You take some profits there because you don't know, is it going to stop at 30 cents or 35 cents, which is a big resistance line that I've identified, or is it going to keep going higher? That is what you have to think about. And we're going to be talking a lot about that through the summer. So stay on board, and we'll keep talking about that. But that is coming in the future. 15-cent Dogecoin. Here we are. We're back at 15 cents again. Nice. Nice. What happened in the meeting? No interest rate cut. No interest rate raise either. Kept it the same like I thought. Not a big deal. But they did do this plot, which is basically saying, oh, that's not that one, this one, where there are 9 committee members who think that there's going to be 3 rate cuts this year. And so that's what the markets are responding to. And that's why everything is trading up. It's because of this dot plot here. And that a majority of the Fed commissioners believe that there's going to be 3 rate cuts in the future. So that's why things are going up. Where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin just hit 67K. Look at that. Bitcoin is showing strength here, trading up. Yeah, DM, I think that March Madness thing is a fun way to promote crypto. I don't know what's going to happen with it. It was just one of those things. I saw it and I was just like, I got to do something like that. That'll be fun. So we're going to do that. I'll talk about that again in a little bit. As new people are coming into the chat, we're talking about a big run on Bitcoin going on up to 67K and Doge hitting 15 cents. Here we are right at 15 cents. So that is good. And that's all positive coming out of the FOMC meeting. So here's why Dogecoin is a better catch than Shiba Inu right now, according to this Be in Crypto article. So there was a question earlier about Shib, what's going on with Shib. So Dogecoin price has been corrected by 26%. So, and that is looking at, again, its high to its low. We go to the 4-hour chart and we say, yeah, when we look at Doge hitting 20 cents, which was just over 2 weeks ago, and you swing it all the way down, it's actually the worst this morning. That was now almost a 40% drop. 40% drop. That's a pretty significant drop, and Bitcoin's was not that much. What was Bitcoin's drop here? Well, I didn't see what, once they hit their new all-time high here at 73.6 or so, and their drop was 17%. So 17% on the Bitcoin side. But yeah, double that on the Doge side. Tough for Doge, yes. However, what about Shib and compare it to Shib? So, sorry, one other thing on this. Whales, and this is Dogecoin whales. These are the Dogecoin holders that hold a crap ton of Dogecoin, and we look at those wallets every now and then. But they say they are currently simply holding on to their supply despite price fall, suggesting conviction is high, leaving room for recovery. So the whales aren't selling, right? The whales are holding. They're not swing trading. They're not using leverage. They are holding right now, are what the Dogecoin whales are doing. The manipulation that's happening are the market makers and the shorters, and there are shorters out there who are trying to gain off of the overbought condition we had throughout crypto. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. It's going to be followed by a retracement. And with that retracement, well, first, let's get to this. We'll get to Shib in just a minute. First, so when Bitcoin did this big run up here, up to 73.6, you had people in this area, as soon as it hit over 70,000 and then was going up to this area right here, what you had was the euphoria kicking in, right? You get traders saying, I need to get into this. This is going high, new all-time high. I need to buy more Bitcoin. So you had a lot of buying going on, which took it from 70K all the way up to 73. Then what happens? Not only that, but you get other traders saying, I am going to use leverage. I'm going to use a 10x, 20x, 50x leverage on Bitcoin because it's just going to keep going up. This is the mentality that traders have. The market makers know that. The exchanges know that. And what are they going to do? They're going to drop the price. They're going to drop the price and they're going to liquidate those leveraged longs. Because what happens is someone does a 20x trade, the exchange has to pay out when they sell. The exchange has to pay out that difference. They don't like doing that. So the price dumps. That's how it works. And so what we have is And this is when that was happening. All these big green bars you see here, these are all of the long liquidations on a daily basis. We had 78 million, 12 million, 46 million, 10 million, 25, 21, and then on March 19th, $81 million of liquidations. $81 million of liquidations. And that was coming down to this point down here, this big drop. Let's see, the 19th. Yeah, the 19th was here. So that final big drop that came all the way down to 62K, huge liquidations. So that's what's happening. Now, it also scares some people, and you get some retail buyers who are selling. And what happens? The market turns around like it is right now. You've sold because you've got weak hands. The market turns around. Bitcoin's now up at 67, but you sold at 64, 63, thinking that it was going to drop here even lower, and you didn't want it. You wanted to at least take some profit or something, or not lose out more if it was going to come down here to this 58K level. Guess what? It didn't. Turned around, went back up. That's why the strategy is buy and hold. And you just ride out the volatility. You ride out the waves. And then you look for these dips as buying opportunities to DCA in, buy a little more. It's the best way to do it. And then you're not all worried about short squeezes, long liquidations, or swing trading where you've sold a whole bunch of stuff and now you're out and you're missing out on gains coming back as the price is going back up. You're missing out because you thought you were going to be smart and you were going to swing trade, and now you're going to buy in and back in at a higher price. I'm also a believer in not paying short-term capital gains on profits. And I would like to hold my coins for at least a year here in the United States, because that's like a 15 to 20% savings in tax payments, especially if you're talking about the possibility of making $1 million or more in profits. That 15 to 20% is a lot of money. And I am not interested in paying short-term capital gains tax on my big bag. So that's just me. That's what I'm doing. But you asked. Shib. Shib is not having much of a recovery. Shib has been relatively quiet. Look at the volume down here on Shib. Nothing happening on Shib. Look at the Dogecoin chart. It's a 4-hour. Much more volatility, much more volume. But Shib had all its volume back over here. That's when Shib made this big run all the way up from 0.0000982. It was below 10, and it ran all the way up here to 45. Big run, big volume, settled back down, and now it's going to be quiet again. And I don't think it's going to do much until some big, I don't know, so there's going to be some big FOMO event that's going to happen, and Shib is going to rocket up, not just to 45, but it's going to go up past its previous all-time high. That's probably going to happen, who knows, some months from now. So I think it's worth holding on to Shib for that. So for whoever was asking, should I sell my Shib and buy Doge? I would say maybe half. Keep half of your bag of Shib for that eventual big run that Shib would have. And with the other half, buy Doge. So it's not an all or nothing game, right? You just half and half maybe. And then you're in both of them. And then when Shib goes on a big run, you can say, yeah, I got some of that too. Again, this is talking just as an investment strategy. Again, This is what I do. I'm not a financial advisor. Can't tell you what to do. I don't know your financial position or anything like that, but that's what I do. So that's my take on Shib. And this article here in Be in Crypto is basically saying, look, the Dogecoin whales, they're holding. They're not selling. Just like me. I'm not selling. I'm holding. The last Doge I bought, because somebody asked, the last Doge I bought was down here at 8.3 cents. And that was right here on the 21st of February. And it was on that dip right above my, right there. That's where I bought my last Doge, 8.3. Because I had actually already spent all of my February money. And, you know, I need cash in my bank account, right, to cover all my monthly bills, you know, and have a little cash ready just in case, like, the hot water tank goes out or, you know, something. And what I did there was I borrowed my March money to go buy a crap ton more of Doge there, because I saw what was happening on the charts. If you remember, we had this big, what's now a purple wedge here, which means it was in the past now, because I've got my current one in orange. But this one that was in the past here, and I was like, I knew a breakout was coming. I could see the breakout forming. The breakout happened, and there was a pullback. Doge went all the way up to over 9 cents and then pulled back. And at 8.33 is where I bought in, and I bought like 80,000 Dogecoin. I was like, I'm buying that. I'm using my March money in February because I saw this breakout coming. And I predicted that, and you guys were all here with me, the ones who were with me, that breakout was happening. And so that's what I did. So I have not bought any Dogecoin in March because I used all of my March money back here in February. That's what I did. That's what I did. I added to my Doge bags. Somebody was complaining, you're talking about all these other cryptos. Why aren't you buying Doge? It's like, well, I did. I did buy more Doge then. So that's what's going on. BTC or ETH, why not have both? That's the simple answer. And we've got a thing on ETH here in a little bit that I'm going to cover. Get comfortable with the idea of Doge hitting $3. We were talking about $3 Doge just the other day, weren't we? And how realistic that actually could be. That is not too far out. Getting over 75 cents is going to be tough, the previous all-time high. Getting over $1 is going to be really tough. There's going to be a lot of profit taking happen. But if Doge is being used like we think it's going to be used, and the FOMO is kicking in, you get all these new people coming in, like, I mean, Robinhood going crazy. It's like, look out. Look out. As Andre points out, Doge's largest transaction volume surged 92%. Daily active addresses rise 13.5%. All good stuff. And then we had this from the MyDoge wallet. And this is the one I wanted to talk about here. I encourage you to follow MyDoge wallet on X. This is the one software wallet that I actually use on my phone that has Doge in it. This is what I use when I buy AMC movie tickets with Doge. I'm using the Doge out of my MyDoge wallet to buy those movie tickets because I transferred that Doge over from Robinhood into my Doge wallet. And it costs like 0.1 Doge or something to make that transfer. of Doge into the MyDoge wallet. And it's an app that you have on your phone. I encourage two-factor authentication always, right? You got to have you got to set a PIN each time to access your wallet. And I know it's a pain to type in your PIN number every time, but do it. Just do it. You never know. SIM swappers or whatever can happen to your phone, and you don't want them getting into your wallet and stealing your Doge. But the MyDoge wallet is great. It's also a fun account to follow here on X. I don't get paid for this. I don't have any affiliation with them. It's just a good product that I use and I recommend. I'm the king of cryptos. Awesome. Dogecoin. The reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Stop looking at the price because 1 Doge equals 1 Doge, always. HODL. And this is the one that I really wanted to say, is that new app downloads are up 39%. So that means that more and more people are downloading this MyDoge app. And it's been out for quite a while. I mean, it's over a year. I think it's maybe even 2 years I've had this app. So it's not like this is new and then a bunch of, the numbers are going up because it's a new app. No, this app has been around and it's so easy to use. Plus, you can put your Dogecoin address here on your X profile, and I call out that it is a MyDoge address. This is my Dogecoin wallet on MyDoge, and there are a lot of Dogecoin people on X that like to give out tips. Getting Dogecoin tips and giving Dogecoin tips is a lot of fun. And until Dogecoin is actually integrated onto X, this is one way that you can actually use Dogecoin on X, is with the MyDoge app. And so a lot of people are having fun with that on X. In fact, I just got a 0.69 Dogecoin tip to me from Tesla Model Doge because I responded to one of their posts, picked a color, and then got tipped. It's fun. So that's what you can do with Doge. That's what you can do with Doge. All right, let me catch up a little bit on the chat, and then I'll get to some more news. Yes, there's more news to cover still. We're just getting started here. It's not even 5 o'clock yet, which is when I would normally start. So we're going to go for a while. We're going to go for a while. Dogecoin is the way the master plan is slowly unfolding right before our eyes. Thank you, Robert. That is really good. Hold, hold, hold. Extinct says, I don't know, man. I hold Doge, believe in it, but seems to be a never-ending story with Elon and what happened to Doge 1. Yeah, Elon is not the best when it comes to schedules, meeting schedules. The Doge 1 thing was out of his hands, though, because he's relying on third parties to make that happen. He provided the rocket. The rocket was there, ready to go, but that third party contractor that actually was making the Doge 1 satellite was not ready. So, and we talked a lot about this in January and February when they didn't make their deadline, which was too bad. The rocket took off without them because it had another payload, which unfortunately was the lunar lander that landed on the moon but fell over on its side or landed on its side. I'm not sure exactly completely what happened there, but I wasn't keenly watching it because there wasn't a Dogecoin on that one. Doge 1 could still happen later this year. No one's saying anything specifically, particularly because intuitive machines is probably the vehicle that could get on SpaceX's rocket launch schedule, maybe for November or December, and that would be the opportunity for then for the Doge 1 satellite then to have a rocket to go up with. So we'll see. But right now, there's no schedule for it. Samano says, I bought Doge, ADA, and DOT in 2021. 2021 was a crazy time. There were a lot of people buying at big numbers. I mean, ADA at like $2, Doge at 50, 60 cents. So, the strategy was, and we talked about it over the past year and a half, the strategy was buy through the bear market, because we were using these 4-year cycles. Again, it was looking at this, which are the 4-year cycles, knowing that, and even in early 2022, we knew that was the bear market. The bear market was coming because it had happened in 2018, it happened in 2014. So in 2022, we were talking about DCAing on the way down. We didn't know how low Doge would go. Doge actually went down to 4.9 cents in 2022. 2023 was not the low for Doge. It was 2022 where you could get Doge at 4.9 cents. So, and the same thing with Cardano, buying Cardano, right? If you had $2 Cardano, you buy more. If you believe in the project and you believe it's going to turn around, then you buy more. I was buying Cardano at 24 cents. That was about September, early October 2023. It was like 24-cent Cardano. So you could have taken that $2 average that you had from 2021, bought a bunch of 24 cents and bought that average down. So that's how you do it. We've been talking about that for the past year. It's like DCAing if you've got the big bags. But if you still believe in the project, right? If you still believe in Dogecoin, and I mean, if it's a crappy project and you want to get out of it, then sell for a loss and take that money and put it into something you believe in. I mean, the worst thing you can do is be holding onto a cryptocurrency that you don't like because you're negative. It's like, no, just get out of it and get into something else that you like. And even if it means taking a loss, and that loss can actually offset gains that you might have on other cryptos that you're going to take profits on, and that helps you on your taxes. You can think about that too. Jason Ellison, congratulations. He now has 1 million Dogecoin in his bag. That is huge. Congratulations, Jason. We've been following Jason for a year on this journey as he's just been picking up bits of Dogecoin here and there along the way. Congrats, my man. Big goal. Super congrats. Fire Legend says, hold Dogecoin because imagine one day Doge reaches a mind-blowing price. You never know. Robert's got 277,000 Doge. Awesome. Again, everybody has a different financial situation that they're in. For some people, 20,000 Doge is a huge outlay. For some, 200,000 Doge is a huge outlay. Again, only invest what you're willing to risk. It is cryptocurrencies after all, but that's awesome. Jason also reminds everybody to hit the like button. I appreciate the support on that. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. We're having fun, but keeping it real at the same time. This is not the channel where it's all rockets to the moon. That's not this channel. But we do celebrate the gains. But we kind of keep it real. Jerry says he sold all his Doge. And so this is the one thing where you were like, if you're thinking you want to take some profits, maybe not all of it, maybe just some of it. Maybe just some of it. So awesome time to be aware of what the marketplace is doing always. And again, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm here. Normally starting at 5 o'clock. I started an hour earlier because we had Doge running up to 15 cents. And I wanted to be here live while that was happening, which we are. We got a little pullback going on now, down to 14.7. But Bitcoin up over 67K. So that's a good move for Bitcoin. We'll be checking on ETH in just a minute. Does the big red candles liquidate long positions? Yes, they do. They do. Particularly when Bitcoin had this set of this sort of double move down here is what liquidated a lot of leveraged longs. First, there was this, I mean, the shorter ones were this first going down. But then what happened is as Bitcoin then started to trade up, you had a lot of traders saying, okay, Bitcoin has hit its low here, which was 62.4, let's say. And then they start opening these leveraged longs here. And what does Bitcoin do? It just turns around and drops lower and liquidates them out. That's what happens. That's what can happen. So I do not trade with leverage. I do not short. I DCA and I buy and hold for the big gains that are going to come in the future. I'm already up quite a bit on all of my Dogecoin. I have a very good profit right now, but I'm not selling at 14 cents. No way. It's going much, much higher. Marius, very simple. Doge. $1 by September, JD says. We'll see. We will see. Jason reminds everyone about the additional IRS agents. And did you notice, for those that were paying attention and actually filled out their 1040 forms, what's the first question the IRS asks on the top of that form? Did you hold any crypto assets or digital assets, whatever it says, right? Why do they want to know that? Why do they want to have you check that box if you actually had ownership of digital assets? Because those are the ones that they want to go after. Yes. I might get audited this year. I don't know. We'll see. I keep good records, though. You guys know me. I got my spreadsheets and all that because I'm a nerd. But yes, they can come knock on my door anytime. Come on in. I'll show you all my records. I got nothing to hide. Some of you have been talking about, maybe I did some trading on a DeFi exchange and I'm not going to tell anyone. But somehow some of that cash ended up back in a bank, right? And there's got to be a trail. Like, how did that cash get back to a bank, if it indeed did? Now, if all you're doing is trading on DeFi exchanges and building up wealth on a DeFi exchange, which I would not recommend, but some people do it. If you think you can get away with it, I'm like, I wouldn't chance it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So, yeah, Grayscale still selling. Will Solana overtake ETH? Somebody asked George that question, either this morning or yesterday, I forget which. And George said yes. I don't think so. I mean, they're just so far apart. I mean, ETH is $416 billion. Solana is still under 100. Solana would have to do a 4x with ETH doing nothing. I don't see that happening. But you never know. Doge is actually taking another run at Cardano here. Looks like Avalanche is starting to take a run back at Doge. Actually, Doge just flipped Avalanche. That's what happened. Doge is number 9 and Avalanche is number 10. That flip just happened. I missed it. Doge just flipped Avalanche. How about that? And making a run for Cardano. Again. Go Doge. Go Doge. Yes, you did the math. My March money was $7,000. You got me. You got me. But yeah, that's what I took out of my bank account, threw it onto Coinbase, bought 80,000 Dogecoin additional. Yes. If I had 7,000 a month to invest, I would be rich by now. Well, Jerry, you know, you have what you have, right? And you invest what you can invest. I'm a little older than you guys, and I'm in a little different financial position. And I've got a lot in crypto right now, huge bag of crypto. So I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Caffeine Nights, welcome. Thank you for the super chat. Do you anticipate having to greatly affect Doge, or have we reached a degree of permanent decoupling? Weird cycle this time around. No, there's not a decoupling. Bitcoin still runs the crypto market for the most part. I mean, Bitcoin is still over half the crypto market. The Bitcoin dominance is still over 50%. So as Bitcoin goes, so goes the rest of the crypto market, or a majority of it. Every once in a while Bitcoin is going down, you'll have a small number of cryptos actually going up because of some particular news or something that they're doing. And the opposite is sometimes true when Bitcoin is going up. Sometimes you have some cryptos going down. Maybe they already went on a big run and there's a bunch of profit taking going on, or there's just bad news going on with something. So that happens. But for the most part, everything follows Bitcoin. As I've been saying for the past couple months, and a lot of you guys have heard me talk about this before, I think there's going to be a run up to April 20th, right around April 20th, April 19th, 20th, somewhere in there, when the Bitcoin halving takes place. And I think it's going to be buy the rumor, sell the news. And that from April 21st on through sometime in May, we could see some retracements happening. And that is going to be more on the back of the miners and what's happening with the Bitcoin mining companies. Are they able to sustain their profits getting half the rewards? That's really what it's about. And in the long term, cutting the Bitcoin rewards in half is going to be a good thing for the overall market because the inflation of Bitcoin is being cut in half. So that's less new Bitcoin being added every 10 minutes. So that's a good thing overall for Bitcoin's price. But in the short term, there's going to be some capitulation based on what the mining companies are doing. I think they're going to be selling a lot of their Bitcoin, and there's going to be a lot of mining selling pressure going on after the halving. This is what I think. So be careful for some volatility, I think, after the halving, and I think it's going to affect the whole crypto market. So I initially was going to have a bunch of cash sitting on the side waiting for, end of April to buy on some tasty dips. But then I saw, based on my charting, that a breakout was coming. And again, this is, this was me being me, right? Just saying, I was charting all of this from December all the way to February, this big descending wedge here, and I was like, this is setting up for a breakout. Why would I wait with a whole bunch of cash on the side for something that may or may not happen in May, when this was right before me, this big breakout here? And this is what I was predicting would happen. And you guys were here saw that I had, this used to be a big orange wedge here. I had this big wedge and we were following it. It's on all my live streams on my YouTube channel. You can go look at them because everything's still there. And I was calling this breakout happening. And that's when I was buying. I was buying on these dips. And then again, like I said, my last big purchase at 8.3 cents. But I was buying some other cryptos too at this time. And then that was my February money. And then I stole my March money and bought all there. Because why have a bunch of cash sitting on the sidelines when I knew that the price was low here? We don't know what's going to happen come May. So that's what I did. But for some of you that are looking for buying opportunities now that the prices are up here, maybe post-halving might be something to look out for. Just something that's out there. Right now, I do see, though, this other wedge forming. It's starting to form. And so I've got this drawn in orange here, and we're going to follow this. We're going to see what happens. If Dogecoin continues to trade up, it's going to hit this line and then trade back down and really confirm this descending wedge. This will be the third wedge in 12 months that we'll have seen, which would be pointing to me of a potential huge breakout again coming for Dogecoin. That's what I'm watching. Easy dollar, Scon says. Well, 4%, sure. 4% in what time frame, though? Here it's 14% right here from 8 o'clock last night, up 14%. And Crypto Bubbles has Doge at 11% over the past 24 hours. But for the past 21 hours, which is what TradingView uses here, that's 14%. 14% is a pretty decent gain. Pretty decent gain. So that's worth celebrating there. And we can chart it right here. Click, click. Wow, it's even 23% from its dip down here to 12.5. So it's a little rocket, but it's nice. Looks like we're up about 14% for the day. Yep, we're right in there. Will Elon put a little Dogecoin on the little moon? Well, Elon won't do it, but somebody will do it. Astrobotic tried. They had a Dogecoin on their lunar lander, and the lunar lander was out in space, but it had some propellant problem, a small leak in its propellant tank. I think they should have gone ahead and crashed the thing into the moon. That's what I think they should have done, but they didn't. So that didn't happen. Oh God, April Fool's Day is coming. That's when Elon Musk in 2021 made that tweet about putting a literal Dogecoin on the literal moon. What's going to happen April Fool's Day this time? We already know what he did on St. Patrick's Day, showing those dogs with the little Dogecoins sitting around. Elon, he's doing stuff. And all of that just leads me to believe there's something bigger coming with Elon. So, Hey, Ryan, how are you? Been watching since 2021. Did you see where the SEC is pursuing a legal campaign to classify Ethereum as a security? Yes, I was getting to that. I have an article ready to talk about Ethereum. I told you I would get to it. ETH. So, you remember last summer what it was when Gary Gensler was in front of the U.S. House Financial Services Committee, and there was this one representative who was grilling Gary on whether he considered Ether to be a security or not. And Gary wouldn't answer the question. But on other questions, Gary would answer like the law is clear, right? The law is clear. But when it came to whether Gary deemed ETH to be a security or not, he wouldn't answer the question. There was something else going on. And now we know what it is. I think the challenge that Ethereum has here is it changed from a proof of work to a proof of stake. We know the SEC does not like staking. They don't like it. Funny that there's this additional article that came out. Well, we'll get to that in just a minute. There's this other article that came out that Coinbase is applying to launch futures. For what? For Dogecoin and 2 other altcoins. So this is tied to Dogecoin. Again, we ought to talk about with Ethereum and Dogecoin here. But this is very interesting. Coinbase wants to launch futures trading. And they have made this application not to the SEC, but to the CFTC, which is commodities. And it's interesting that Coinbase has done this to the Commodities Commission. Because not only Dogecoin, but the other 2 coins that are being considered here are Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. Now, what do Dogecoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash have in common? They're all proof of work cryptocurrencies. They're not proof of stake. So being proof of work cryptocurrencies, I think, leads Coinbase to believe that these cryptocurrencies are not securities and should be treated the same as Bitcoin. So this is fascinating. This is actually fascinating on the behalf of Dogecoin and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, but more for Dogecoin. Because as I said right from the start, as soon as the SEC was going after exchanges for selling unregistered securities, they never mentioned Dogecoin. Never mentioned Dogecoin. The only cryptos that were ever mentioned were proof of stake cryptocurrencies. Never proof of work. So the SEC has found itself in a tough position with Ethereum because Ethereum used to be a proof of work cryptocurrency. And when futures trading was initiated for ETH a number of years ago, that's back when it was a proof of work cryptocurrency. But it's not anymore. And Gary knows that that change from proof of work to proof of stake has put the SEC in a tough position. Maybe Gary wasn't in a position to answer that question before the U.S. Financial Services Committee because they were investigating the Ethereum Foundation at the time. So this leads to doubt about whether the spot Ethereum ETFs will get approved by the SEC. This is part of the reason we think that some of the cryptocurrency trading over the past week or so has gone down because of this doubt on an ETH ETF. I mean, Ethereum is still trading fine. It's it just hit, or just about to hit, back up to 3,500. But there was a bit of a sell-off here when it was up over 4,000. Now, part of that is just like Bitcoin, right? It overbought condition, up over 4,000. There's profit taking going on, etc. But there's also this other news going on with it as well. But this article about Coinbase and these futures and having Dogecoin in there is fascinating to me. And if the CFTC allows this, Dogecoin is free and clear of all of that SEC garbage, which is awesome for Doge and could possibly pave the way for a futures ETF. A futures ETF for Dogecoin. And maybe Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, but for Doge. Very interesting. All of those people, for the past couple of years, that have been saying that Dogecoin should switch from proof of work to proof of stake. And what have I always said? No, don't do it. Don't do it. Dogecoin is fine like it is. Stay as a proof of work cryptocurrency, similar to Bitcoin. Don't get into the whole staking business. Don't do it. Dogecoin is secure. It's got its own blockchain. Just stay as a proof of work cryptocurrency, just like it is. So all of that is so positive for Doge's future. This would be awesome. This would be awesome if Coinbase gets this. Will I do futures trading? No, I will not. I will continue to buy and hold like I do. I'm not going to get into futures trading. But there's a lot of traders who will enjoy doing that with Dogecoin. We'll see how that works out. But that's fascinating. So that's what's going on with ETH. Will these ETFs get approved? Well, here's the schedule. The final deadline for the first one, which is the Van Eck one, which is the first one that had its application, is May 23rd. ARC21's is May 24th. Hashdex's is May 30th. Grayscale has one May 30th. The BlackRock one isn't until August. However, if SEC does what they did with Bitcoin, we could see them all get approved at the same time, right around May 23rd. And I think it's all or nothing. They either all get approved on May 23rd, or the SEC is going to reject it because Ethereum is a proof of stake cryptocurrency now, and there are questions about the Ethereum Foundation. So we'll see about that. Meanwhile, there's this other thing called Dogecoin 20. And I thank Low Roller for bringing this to my attention. I've researched it. I've looked at it. This is not a Dogecoin alternative. It has nothing to do with Dogecoin. It is just a dumb ERC20 token that you're going to be able to trade on Uniswap. They're setting up somehow to stake it. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can stake a stupid token. This has nothing to do with Dogecoin. Be careful. You don't know who the devs are. You don't know who's creating this. Charity-focused meme coin. No, they're just out to make a bunch of money. So be careful. Be very careful. They're doing some pre-sale now, which means there are people actually giving them money in hopes that they're going to get this huge airdrop of these tokens and they're going to make more money on the back end. This has nothing to do with Dogecoin. Stay away. And then this other one called Pepe Jump. Pepe Jump. And this article also says that this Dogecoin 20 project has now raised over $3 million. So some degens out there have sent this unknown team over $3 million in pre-sale to get some tokens airdropped to them so that they can dump them when the thing actually starts trading on Uniswap as new buyers come in. That's the game. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with making the world better. No ecosystem thing. No, none of that. So be careful out there. That's all I say. I got that off my chest. Just had to address that. It's just a dumb token. It doesn't do anything. Some people are going to make money off it. Good luck. Paxi. Thank you. What's a reasonable Shib price? So the previous all-time high is like 0.00085. So 85. It hit 45 earlier, just a few weeks ago. Now it's trading at 27. So, that's a bit of a retrace there, back down to 27. Let's look at the weekly chart, and you can see this big run up here. Woo! Came all the way up to 45 and retraced all the way back down to where it is now. This kind of run, though, I think is just a precursor of what it's going to do next. So this is it running up back in fall of 2021 up to 85. Get rid of your comment there. So that's it running up to 85. I think it's going to do this and more. And I wouldn't be surprised if it dropped to 0, went up over 100 on a big run. And I'm holding, I was going to sell at 50, this yellow line here. This was my initial sell line, but I made a new one at 66. So that's now my target for beginning to skim profits on Shib. It's at 66. Because again, I'm not an all or nothing seller, right? I'm going to be selling chunks of my bags at a time because I'll enjoy the profit of when I sell, but the last thing I want to do is like sell everything and then the price keeps going up and then you don't have any more, right? You're never going to guess the top. You're never going to hit the exact top. I don't know anybody that sold their Dogecoin at 74 cents. Well, somebody did, right? The price actually hit 74 cents and then turned around. So somebody actually hit that. But so I've got targets that I'm setting on all my cryptos of where I'm going to begin to skim profits. But I'm still holding a bag of that same crypto because most likely it's going to continue to go higher. But since I bought at 10, 66, that's over a 6x. That's a pretty good beginning of a return on profits. So that's my target. So that's how I'm trading Shib. Right now, I'm just holding all the Shib I have. Hey, the dancing Doge. And we're about to make another run up to 15 cents. It's happening right now. And Jason says, yep, DCA and buying the dips works. Jason's average is 7.3 cents. Decent average. You're double in profit at 14.8. You're over double. That's not bad. But it's only getting started, in my opinion. Only getting started. What is a DeFi exchange? So you have centralized exchanges like Coinbase, Robinhood, Binance, others. Those are called centralized exchanges. That's where you take your fiat money, you send your fiat money to the exchange, right? And then you buy and sell crypto. That's a centralized exchange. Then you have decentralized or decentralized finance. That is what DeFi stands for, decentralized finance. So a DeFi is like a PancakeSwap or Uniswap, right? You can't actually send them fiat money, right? What you have to do is you got to go buy a token somewhere else. Like you go to Binance and you buy BNB, right? And then you send the BNB over to PancakeSwap, and then you do your swapping. That's essentially, that's a decentralized finance exchange. So there are less regulations on those. And obviously, most of them are based not in the US, but in other countries. And they don't have the same rules to follow. That's a DeFi exchange. You have much more freedom on those exchanges because there's less regulatory oversight. And the US government hasn't figured out a way to actually trace the swaps because it's all anonymous. You don't have to do KYC. They don't know who you are. All they see are wallet numbers, right? And you're just doing swapping. You're doing swapping. So, and you can get a whole crap ton of tokens. And of course, if you want to get into the Solana memes, then you got to go to like Jupiter or Radium or one of those, right? Which is a Solana-based DeFi exchange, right? So you got to buy some Solana and then transfer it into there. Avalanche has a number of them, and so they're being built on these other chains now. So it's not just BNB based or ETH based, which is 3 years ago. That's about all you could do. Now there's a whole bunch more of them. I don't trade on them. I got out of that business. Now I just buy core crypto projects and I do my trading. Used to do Binance US. I'm not trading on Binance US anymore. Now it's just Coinbase and Robinhood. That's all I use now. Coinbase has a huge selection of cryptocurrencies. I mean, I miss out on the tokens that go up 1,000%. That's okay, because the chances of you actually picking the one that goes 1,000%, it's like gambling. You don't know. So I don't miss that at all. Solana's huge. I'm really surprised at Solana. I mean, Solana was having problems with its exchange. Solana has a crap ton of tokens that are wrapped up in FTX that FTX is going to be dumping on a yearly basis. But it just keeps going up. It just keeps going up. Yeah, I think George is coming around on Doge again, particularly because of Elon, but he still doesn't buy any and support it. He sold it out of his fake portfolio. He sold the Doge out of that. That's fine. I follow George for his content on other altcoins. I think he's very knowledgeable on the blockchain technologies and things like that. I learn a lot from him. And of course, he's a Bitcoin bull to the max. And then whenever there's a red day, it's a crash, even though it's really just a slight pullback. He'll call it a crash. So, but he does that. I mean, that's fine. I mean, he's got a huge following, gets tons of people in his live streams. So I applaud him for that. Yeah, don't mess with your taxes. Mine about $1,000 a month into crypto. Yeah, and that was the other thing. Other reason I wanted to start at 4 o'clock, Komro, is because During my live streams, there are always green candles in Doge, and I didn't want to miss out on the green candles that were going on, and I wanted to continue while I'm live. So that's fun. Yeah, and I agree. The Miami Dolphins guy, my Miami Dolphins friend, the whole market is a month and a half, 2 months early. It's actually, I think, more than that, because Bitcoin has already hit a new all-time high before the halving, and that has never happened before. And so it might be 6 months ahead of schedule of the typical 4-year cycles by already hitting its all-time high. But that's just Bitcoin. There's a few others that have hit new all-time highs, but a lot of them, like Cardano and others, are still lagging and are still on a normal 4-year cycle. And I think Doge is in that category as well. So it's not the whole market. I think Bitcoin definitely, and then a number of others that have just taken off. Solana, Render. Solana hasn't hit its previous all-time high, but it's, a 10x in the last 5 months. That's huge. Huge. Yeah, ETF hype. And that's really what did it, was all the BlackRock and ARK and those, just all of their clients now getting into Bitcoin without having to actually go to an exchange and buy it themselves. They can just have their brokers saying, buy me a bunch of that Bitcoin. And that's through those spot ETFs. That's how it works. Unfortunately, Grayscale has been selling so much for a couple of reasons. A lot of them taking profits that they weren't able to before because it was a futures ETF. So that was a problem. But then because Grayscale has those big fees, and a lot of people wanted to get out of Grayscale and get into one that had much lower fees. Are we going to see sub 13-cent Dogecoin? Danny Delgado asks. We could. There could be a dip that comes back down to this level. We were just there at 12:30 today. We were sub 13 cents. So yeah, it could revisit that overnight or tomorrow if there's a red day in crypto. Yeah, that's not unreasonable. A BOEM, it's a token. I don't have an opinion on BOEM. Sorry. Yeah, that's the psychology, Miami. And we've talked about that on this channel as well. Dogecoin getting up near $1. I even said that, yeah, I'll probably be selling it like 95, 96 cents, taking my profit, whatever piece of my profit I'm going to take, I would take there before it got to $1. It's going to be really hard for Doge to get over $1. Absolutely. And Pepe, I'm actually surprised Pepe has done as well as it has. I thought last May, when it went on that huge run, that it would die out, and it hasn't. It's got a strong community, and it just pumped up again the past few weeks. I was surprised by it. Crazy. What else is going on? Mother's Day. You think Mother's Day is going to be a big day for Doge? Well, we've got April Fool's Day has been a big day in the past. We have Doge Day, 420. Some days there's been a big dump, but other days it's traded well. We don't know which way that's going to be this year. And Mother's Day happens sometime in May. So yeah, these other These other tokens, I don't know. I don't know what Inquieta is, and is it even a coin? It sounds like it's probably just a token. So Kisan asks, will Shib get up to 200? 200 to 500, what I call 200 to 500, because I take out the 3 zeros. Well, getting to 100 would be over its previous all-time high. So then doubling that, I mean, that would just be a huge market cap for Shib. That would just be so big. This is 589 trillion Shib. So it would be at 100. That would be like a 4x from here. So that's 58 billion at 100. Gets it to 58 billion, which would put it in 6th place above XRP. If it got to 0002, that would be double that. So $120 billion. Shib up in 3rd. I don't know about that. I don't think there's enough going on with Shib for that to happen. I think they've done a good job of trying to create this whole ecosystem, the Shiba Swap, the Shibarium, working on these NFT metaverse game stuff. But the only ones that I know using it are all already in Shib. I don't think you've got people coming new from the outside that are getting into the Shib stuff. I don't think you have independent developers, in crypto that are building on Shibarium. They're building on Solana, or they're building on Algorand, or they're building on these other blockchains. Because I mean, Shib's history just probably doesn't give a lot of confidence to serious developers, in my opinion. So, yeah. And how about Bitcoin? Where does Bitcoin go from here? And will the price drop again? Yeah, there will always be drops, but I think Bitcoin has the opportunity here, up at 67.6 now, that it could retest 70K easily before the halving. When you look at it on a daily basis here, and this huge run up that we had, retrace perfectly understood as coming, and then coming back up, and coming back over 70K is not that far from here. So that's not that big of a move. This is a daily chart, and look at that. We're just like bullish engulfing the previous day here. It's a classic bullish move here. You had a big drop the day before, and look at this green candle coming up. That is classic bullish engulfing candle, which means look out. So yeah, that's a pretty good looking chart right there for Bitcoin. And now you'll probably hear George tonight say bullish engulfing candle. Watch it. What does Doge's look like? Even more bullish. Look at that. Doge's is even up more than Bitcoin compared to the drop yesterday. Bullish engulfing candle. Always good. Well, not always, but 90% of the time. Ryan says, if I was going to sell before $1, I think maybe 92 cents. Oh, so you're lowering the bar here just to make sure you got it. And now somebody else is going to, I'll do 91. I'll front run you at 91. SpaceX is shipping its meme street sign from merch store for $69. Huh, interesting. It's just it's an Elon thing. It's not really related to Doge directly. It was just that I think it was in whatever town is near SpaceX, Elon wanted to rename a street to become Meme Street. And I guess it happened, right? So the name actually got changed. And so there's a real Meme Street in this town in southern Texas. So yeah, to sell it in the merch store for $69, that's hilarious. But that's not directly related to Doge. If Shib can do 001, I'd be happy. I would too. Again, I'm starting to layer out at about 66. So to get up to 100, that'd be nice. That'd be a 10x profit for me. I'll take it. To 20 Doge to 20 cents by mid-April. Sure. I mean, that's just right here. It's not that far away. We just hit that. So this this big purple box that I have up here that you guys see, we were looking at that. This was based on a Tom Crown live stream when he was covering Doge. And shout out to Tom Crown again for reaching the 100,000 subscribers. And I also watched him for a bit today during the FOMC meeting because he's always hilarious during those Jerome Powell speeches and Q&A sessions. So I always watch Tom for that. But he was saying, actually on the monthly is where he was getting this from, because he said Dogecoin back here, and this was in August, September, October, and November of 2021. Well, actually, you could even come back in even July. So 5 months of trading right here on the monthly, down, up, down, up, down for 5 months in this box here. He says that there is a lot of liquidity of trading there that is left over. And he says once Doge gets above 20 cents and gets into this range here, he thinks that there would be a number of months of sideways trading happening in this zone. So I copied this box from Tom, and we're going to be watching that. Once Doge eclipses 20 cents and gets in this range here, is this true? Is Doge going to be choppy for a number of months? And this is between like 20.5 cents up to 27, 28 cents is where this box is. And so that's what he called out on his stream. And I thought that was really interesting. And so I just thought it would be good to show that on the chart and see what happens once we get up into this range. So we'll be watching that. We'll be watching that. I just think once Doge goes on a run, it'll be like this big green candle here that we had in April of 2021 on the monthly, that it'll just go and screw all of this liquidity. It'll just trade right up past it. That's the power of Doge trading. It can just happen like that. So we'll be watching that. Did I buy any more Doge? Yeah, I said earlier, Monty, my last Doge I bought was at 8.33 cents. And that was back here. Where's my little green thing? It's right there. 21st of February, right there. And that was my March money that I spent back in February, because I knew there was going to be a breakout. Everything was looking ripe for a breakout. And so I was like, I'm buying Doge there. So that was the last Doge I bought. So that was all my March crypto spending money that I spent about 10 days early, or a week early in February. And looks like that was a good time to buy. So but I have not bought any crypto in March because I got no extra money right now to be buying crypto. I always have to have, and you own a house, you always have to have some cash in a savings account just in case something happens, right? Your air conditioning goes out, right? Your heating gets messed up. Something happens, something breaks somewhere. You got to have some money to fix it. The joys of home ownership. I can't put it all into crypto, unfortunately. I've got a lot in crypto, though. I got a lot. It's a big risk, but I'm very confident in this bull run and that we will be enjoying profits. And speaking of which, I haven't talked about the Kriss DCA portfolio. Let me update this. We'll see where we are. We're at $26,000. So for those that don't know, this is the portfolio that I put in $10,000 last summer. And together on this stream, we were buying crypto. And this was in July, August, and September into the start of October. We were DCAing. We were buying 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This was not like George's on Cryptos R Us, where it's fake portfolio. No, this is real money. This was my $10,000. We DCA'd and we bought mostly Dogecoin. Our Dogecoin is 43% of our portfolio. Look at Render. Render is now up to 12%. It used to be like 2%. Our Render is up 730%. Should have bought more Render. Toss, you should have had me buy more. Anyway, we were buying this together. We got some Bitcoin, we got some Jasmine, we got some Shib, some ETH, some Algo, XRP, Litecoin, and Matic. And of course, XRP, Litecoin, and Matic are down here at the bottom. We didn't use too much of that. Algorand is up 149%, ETH 113%, Shib up 231. We bought it at 0.00008. Our Jasmine is up 400% because we got it at 0.0036. Our Bitcoin is even up 151% because we bought it at 26K. We talked about the Render, and our Doge is up 142%. Our average price is 6.1 cents for 75,000 Dogecoin. So, what are we going to do with this? I'm going to give this Dogecoin to you guys at the top of the bull market, or what we think is the top. I'm giving this Dogecoin away, and for you to be eligible, you just have to join my channel. Join the channel. You go to my YouTube page on a PC, or I heard someone said on an Android. This works as well, but not on an iPhone. And you join the channel. Certainly subscribing helps. I appreciate all the subscribers. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the support there. But this is joining the channel, becoming a member. You get to use all these great emojis in the chat. You get a check mark next to your name. And you will be getting Dogecoin from me, from this stash of 75,000 Doge. I'm giving it out at the top of the bull market. Nate's getting some. Ryan is getting some. You see their names in green in the chat. That means they are members. So if you want to be a member too, check it out. That supports me in the channel as well. But chances are, if the price of Doge is where we think it's going, you're going to be getting a lot more from that Dogecoin of what you're actually paying for the membership. I'm just saying. It's going to work out pretty well for you. So that's what's going on with that. Low roller. Dogecoin 20. See, I started the stream early and I got to that already. I covered it. But for you, because you brought it to my attention, I'll remind you. because I did my research on this low roller. Here's what I think. This is a crapshoot. First, it has nothing to do with Dogecoin. It's an ERC20 token. It's built on the Ethereum blockchain, so it's not a cryptocurrency coin like Dogecoin, because Doge has its own blockchain. This is a token built on Ethereum, and it's stealing from the Doge name. It's using the Doge name to get attention. It wouldn't have had pre-sales of $3.9 million if it wasn't using the Doge name. As the writer of this article says, don't invest unless prepared to lose all the money you invest. Isn't that awesome, right? They're writing this article about this token probably because they got paid to write the article. And the first thing that they say is, don't invest unless prepared to lose all the money you invest. It's like, wow. That's putting it out there, right? Dogecoin 20 is just another stupid token. Will it take off? Who knows? If they've got already raised 3.9 in pre-sales because these people think they're going to be getting a whole bunch of these tokens airdropped to them, what will those tokens be worth when they're airdropped to them? Who knows? But most of them will be selling them, and so they'll be dumping on the retail buyers that buy in once it starts trading on Uniswap. Just like thousands of other tokens. There's nothing about this that is unique or different other than it's another one that's stealing the Dogecoin name. It has nothing to do with Dogecoin. Be careful. I'm having nothing to do with it. So that's my take, low roller, but you can go chasing it if you want. My recommendation would be buy early and sell, but then you're dumping on someone else. Be careful out there. That's my take on Dogecoin 20, whatever the hell that means. I never even figured that out. So here's Dogecoin itself making its second run to 15 cents as predicted. You can rewind 20, 30 minutes ago, and I said Dogecoin turning around, going to run 15 cents, and it's doing it. Doge started a wave of meme coins. Yet it's Doge, the one that's going to crypto. Now, there's no doubt that a lot of people became millionaires in Shib, right? Which was same thing as Dogecoin 20, just created as another dumb ERC20 token. And people became millionaires. So that can happen if you get in early and you buy a crap ton of it at a huge risk, obviously. But you don't know which ones are going to actually do that. So be careful. And I want to thank Pritkin for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you for joining the channel. Appreciate the support. I'll add you to my spreadsheet because you will also be getting Dogecoin from me. When we sell the other coins, again, when it comes to this portfolio, I'm not selling the Dogecoin. I'll be selling everything else. The Dogecoin, I'm transferring to you guys. Minus, I got to cover the taxes because I have to pay taxes on the gains in these other coins. But the rest of it will go to you guys. And I'll be transparent, completely transparent on the giveaway. Pritkin will be getting some Doge. Thank you. And here we are, 15 cents as predicted for Doge. Not bad. Scan says, Doge, Pepe whiff. Unbelievable. And Bonk too. Those like the big five, all in the top 100 cryptocurrencies. 5 memes. Doge is the only meme coin. All of the others are tokens. So I always want to clarify that. So you guys know, of course. But there could be something else that comes from out of nowhere you don't know. I mean, Whiff came from totally out of nowhere. Unbelievable. When I first heard of that, I was, what? Dog with hat? What? What is this? And it's huge. You never know. Book of Meme. Yeah, Book of Meme. Craziness. You don't know who created it. You don't know who the developers are. They pre-mined a bunch of stuff. They've got a crap ton of tokens. They can dump them at any time. You know, it's that same game. So be careful. All the other Inu coins are trash. I mean, even George says that too when he hears these names, you know, because people ask him in the chat all the time, like, you know, what do you think of this and what do you think of that? Like Pepe Jump. And George says, why use the name Pepe? There's already a Pepe, right? Come up with something original and new. That's how you're going to be successful in the meme market. Obviously, using the name like Dogecoin 20 or Pepe Jump will give you a leg up at the beginning because it has a recognizable piece of its name. But I mean, like Baby Dogecoin was popular for a while. But every time George hears some baby something else, he just shakes his head. He says, no, come up with something unique, come up with something different, catchy, and that can make a fun meme coin. And I believe him, it's right. I just, again, I'm a Doge OG, right? And I'm like, if it wasn't for all these other meme tokens being bought, Doge would have a ton more holders. It's a lot of competition. There's definitely a lot of competition. Money that normally would have gone into Doge is going and chasing all of these other tokens. But that's what we live with right now. That's what we got. Doge will be fine. They'll all come running back to Doge when Doge starts pumping. That's for sure. Well, I didn't say skyrocketed, right? I said rocketed. 15% pump is pretty good, especially with what just happened this past weekend. That's pretty good. And you know, I'm not one that just, I don't totally exaggerate stuff, right? So, but this is good, rocketing a little bit. This is good. Nice green candles here. I mean, this is just 18% right there. You know, in the stock market, investors would kill for an 18% return for a year on a stock. For a year, that's the expectations in the stock market. Is an 18% gain in 1 year on a stock is considered successful. And we've got 18% on Doge since noon today. There's 18%. So, I don't know. You tell me. Yep, you tell me. Yeah, I don't know about Super Trump. Yep, spell tokens. Now, I do own a bag of spell tokens because I think, partially because you can buy spell tokens on Coinbase. I can't buy that other crap. I can't buy Super Trump or any of those because I don't trade on those DeFi exchanges, right? But spell token was on Coinbase, and I was like, that's something that may take a flyer on. So I bought some spell tokens. We'll see how they do. What was my average? I don't even remember. I don't have my spreadsheet open. Oh well. Just stumbled over your channel by accident when searching on YouTube for someone who's commenting on Bitcoin. I talk about Bitcoin a lot, not as much as Doge though. This is more of a Doge centric, mostly because of the fun and the memes. There's a lot of other Bitcoin YouTube channels out there. Most of them are so serious. And that's not me. I'm just not that serious. I can't do it. And plus, I wanted to be a little different too. And Doge was fun. And actually, Doge was the first cryptocurrency that I really got into back in 2021. I had dabbled in a little bit of Bitcoin and a little bit of ETH before then, but I was mostly trading stocks. Back in like 2019, 2020, I was doing a lot of swing trading of stocks. And when I first started my old YouTube channel, it was a stock trading channel, actually. And I was making videos about swing trading stocks. And I would swing trade Tesla. I would do NEO, Xpeng, Workhorse, and Gevo, a lot of those small cap. So I was doing that. And was just really just learning about cryptocurrency then, because it was just totally out of my radar before 2020. It just wasn't, crypto just was not on my radar. Because I was doing the stock thing. I was making decent money doing all that stock stuff, but it wasn't huge dollars. I didn't have huge money invested in it. And then after Elon had tweeted on, it was right around Christmas Day, it's like one word, Doge, that got my attention. And then, so in January, I was in the middle of I had a bunch on Robinhood of the stock stuff that I was trading. And I was in the middle of a swing trade on the day Dogecoin started to go crazy. And so I took everything I had and I bought Doge. And I bought like 500,000 Doge at 2 cents, right? So that was like $10,000. And then I'm down and so I made a video on Doge on my channel. And all of a sudden I got all of these subscribers and all these people coming in and saying, yeah, Dogecoin. It was crazy. So that's how it started for me. But I compare a lot how Doge is trading to Bitcoin. And I do a lot of the Doge BTC trading pair analysis as well, because it's important to see how Doge is trading in comparison to Bitcoin. So we look at this a lot. We did hit up to 003 right there. We hit that target. That's that yellow line. We just touched it though when Doge hit 20 cents and then traded back down. So, but at least we stayed over 20 here. It looks like that was our support. You can draw a blue line there for that support at 20 right there. Make that blue. So that was support right there. But then I cover other cryptos too that people want to talk about. I don't mind. Bitcoin started going up after the FOMC meeting. All the markets did. I mean, the stock market was going up. S&P 500 hit a new all-time high today, which is huge. What's going to be the new low for Dogecoin after this bull run? Ha ha ha. Well, isn't that the question? Who knows at this point? Most likely there will be another bear market. 2026 is probably not going to be a good year for crypto. It's probably not. We're going to follow the 4-year cycles. 2022 was a dip year. 2026, again, if we follow the 4-year cycles, is going to be a dip year. I am not going to be holding a lot of cryptocurrency in 2026. I'm selling in 2025, most of my holdings. I'm not going to hold through another bear market. Now, there are many that are saying that we could have a super cycle because of these Bitcoin spot ETFs And then we will never see a big dip like we saw in 2014, 2018, and 2022. We might not see that. Until that happens, though, I'm following the 4-year cycles. I am going to be taking my profits in 2025. I'm not going to sell all of my Dogecoin. That's what I'm going to keep. And I'll probably keep a chunk of my Bitcoin as well. But everything else, I'm selling. I'm taking the profits. I'm not going to hold through what could be another bear market, 12 to 18 months of just down. Just live through that. Why would I want to? Now, I didn't have as much cryptocurrency then as I have now because I bought a lot more. I got out of a bunch of other stuff that I had to create more buying opportunity to load up for this cycle. And that's what I've done. But I'm selling. So where does Dogecoin drop? I don't know. It depends on how high Dogecoin goes, probably. If Dogecoin runs up to $2 or $3 in 2025, maybe it might dip down to $1, maybe not go below it, but we don't know. We gotta let that play out. Too early to be talking about what possible lows will be in the next cycle, in my opinion. Bitcoin can buy here, Madhu says, but the price is high. Well, yeah, that's because there's not a lot of Bitcoins, right? So that's why it's $67,000 for a Bitcoin. But yeah, I'm not buying Bitcoin here, but I'm not buying anything here right now because I don't have the extra cash. I was loading up during the bear market, 2022, 2023. And then the little bits that I've had left over, I've deployed January, February. I'm all in. I've got no cash on the sidelines. I'm all in. Will Bitcoin retrace back down to 58K? I don't know. If Grayscale continues to dump and then there's some other catalyst, negative, black swan event, something that causes Bitcoin to dump, it can happen. So if you've got some cash, you wait for those events to happen. I mean, we just had Bitcoin down here at 61.5. It just happened. So that would have been a good time to buy right there. Actually dropped below 61K here. I mean, you had to be up at 1 o'clock in the morning, but it did go below 61K right there. Dogecoin's the original. Market cap speaks volumes. Since 2014, I mean, Dogecoin was a top 10 cryptocurrency in 2014, its first year that it was being traded. That's amazing. That's how popular it was. That's how quickly it came on, because there weren't any other memes there. Dogecoin was the first meme in a cryptocurrency. And so many people were buying it that it was an instant top 10 cryptocurrency. Now, there weren't as many cryptocurrencies back then as there are now. Here we are 10 years later, and we've got, thousands and thousands. There weren't that many then. But yeah, and Doge has lasted 10 years, and 10 years later is a top 10 cryptocurrency. So yeah. New investors chasing big profits, Doge will deliver in time. If you want to go chase some of those other tokens, good luck. Just be careful, because you might end up being a big bag holder of something that dumps. So just be careful. Yeah, a low roller about today, and we talked about this on Monday during the live stream. Because I basically said, look, FOMC is happening on Wednesday, and it's going to be a nothing burger. There's going to be no interest change. The Fed's not going to change interest rates in March. They're not going to change them in May. Probably June, I would think, is the first time we would see an interest rate cut. But Jerome Powell's got to see the data, right? He always says, I have to see the data on that. But I don't understand why there was such volatility of trading again. I guess there usually is every time the Fed does release its decision of interest rate cuts or not. But I didn't hear a lot of people thinking that Bitcoin would be tanking today. I didn't hear that. I thought it was just going to be going sideways. I mean, here it is now up over 68,000 as Bitcoin continues to trade up. I mean, this is big trading here for Bitcoin today. You know, since 1 o'clock, it's just up. So yeah, this is big. And we see green across the whole crypto market because of it. Positive, forward-looking, like markets are, that cause this trading up. Now, there could also be less grayscale selling and more BlackRock buying, you know, and the others, you know, for those spot ETFs. And it could be a bunch of retail traders too, you know, buying down here saying, okay, now it's time to buy. It's dipped down from its new all-time high. So buying in the 60s instead of the 70s, that's pretty good. So you get a lot of that too. You get a lot of that too. Doge tanking? Julian, I don't know what chart you're looking at, but I'm looking at Doge at 15 cents. And that doesn't look like tanking to me. Yeah, on the crypto.com exchange, they do list a lot of new tokens there. I just say be careful. Be careful. Lucia was tweeting that she may make an all-time high before the Bitcoin halving. I don't see it. I don't see anything. I don't see anything pointing to Shib making a big run in the next month. I think it's going to be probably next fall. We're going to see that. But again, I just own a big bag and I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that run to happen. Oh, so Pritkin bought some Doge, some Shib, some Bonk. I own all three of those as well. Fun to have some exposure for the next big run for the memes. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Dogecoin is 221 Satoshis. I never do the Satoshi conversion because I never know. I never remember how many Satoshis make a Bitcoin. I never remember that number. So Pure ASF wants to look at Jasmy. Sure, we can look at Jasmy. Jasmy was rather disappointing here in the past couple weeks. I do know that. This downward selling here, that was not great for Jasmy. We can actually chart it from when it came up here and hit 2.7 cents and then came down to 1.5. That's over a 40% drop. That's pretty tough. Yeah. So yeah, this downturn that we've had for the past week or so really hit Jasmy hard. And Jasmy's volume really ticked down there too. So it was a slow, steady drop. But it'll turn around. It'll turn around. If only people would all buy Doge. It would look like the Wall Street bets. Well, that's what was happening in 2021. Again, there was all this stuff about like GameStop and AMC, especially GameStop at the time, of which they then made a movie of it. But the exchanges were not letting you sell or not letting you buy more of the stock. It's just like, what? So it's like it was the big greedy, capital companies that were like telling the exchanges to not let that short squeeze happen. And a bunch of Redditors said, well, let's short squeeze Dogecoin. And that's what Dogecoin did in 8x, right? In a day, just like zoom. So that can happen. That was crazy. That was crazy. Just reinvested today's 100% options of SPY into Doge. Cool. You think Doge, if it got to $2 or $3, it would drop 98%? Do you really think that? Whatever it is that causes Doge to go up that high, which would actually be utility using it to buy Tesla cars or using it on X, I don't think it'll drop 98% then. Now, if it's all on hype and nothing happens to Doge, then yeah, I would see that as a possibility. But if Doge is actually integrated onto X and is being used, it will not have a 98% drop. It will not. So that wick on BitMEX that went down to 8,500 was for one purchase. Somebody had a low limit order sitting there on BitMEX exchange at 8,500. And some stupid person did a market order sell at that minute. And there was no other buyers between 8,500 and 62,000. There were no other buyers. That's what can happen on a low liquidity exchange like BitMEX. That's what it was. Somebody else said, well, I bought Bitcoin at like 9,000 or 9. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That was a wick. It went down. It grabbed a low limit buy order, because somebody did a market order sell. And there were no other buys open at that time. That's what that was. So just to be clear. Joshua, welcome to the channel, dude. All right. We're having fun, aren't we? Congratulations, man. Thanks for the support as well. And you'll be getting some Dogecoin from me. And you became a member on your phone. Awesome. The crypto market is flooded with 10,000 other tokens. I'll say tokens. Otherwise, Dogecoin would be king, yes. Does Mark Cuban still accept Doge for the Mavericks? Yes, he does. But he also accepts other cryptocurrencies because he uses BitPay, I think. And so when you go on the Dogecoin merch store or buy tickets, when you go to the option of buying in cryptocurrency, it'll give you the list of cryptocurrencies you can use, of which Dogecoin is one of them. That's how it actually works. Of course, Mark talked more about Doge because Doge was so popular in 2021. That's all anybody wanted to talk about. I can't imagine someone would be buying Mavericks merchandise with Ethereum. Like who's using Ethereum as currency? You're paying that huge gas fee just to transfer your Ethereum. It's like, who's going to do that? Doge is cheap. Use Doge. And that's what Mark Cuban actually said. He said, yeah, Doge has a fast transaction time. It's got a low fee, but he also accepts others. Yes, Dogecoin currency. I covered this earlier in the stream. Dogecoin futures ETF down the line. Yes, that was this article here. Coinbase applies to launch futures for Dogecoin and 2 other altcoins. And the thing I said about this, which is really interesting, is that their application was to the Commodities Commission, the CFTC, not the SEC, which is initially what Bitcoin futures and Ethereum futures was applied to. Ethereum, when it made its futures application, Ethereum at that time was a proof of work cryptocurrency, like Dogecoin is, but also like Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, all proof of work cryptocurrencies, not proof of stake. So Coinbase knows that they have a good chance of getting these approved because they're proof of work, not proof of stake. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And then at the bottom of this article, they did say that some analysts think that if these applications begin to be traded smoothly, it could pave the way for a future ETF in the future. So we'll see. We'll be watching. We'll be following this. See how that plays out. The Reddit IPO, I wouldn't touch it. I would not touch that Reddit stock. It's going to dump. Do you think Reddit Dogecoin tipping options is coming? They used to do tipping. Will it come back? I don't know. I mean, don't they have their own tokens now? I don't think it'll be Doge. Tanking because Doge is breaking through resistance like a tank. There we go. That kind of tank. Yes, up. Yeah, well, I can never remember. It's 100 million. There's too many zeros in that. That's why I can't remember it, low roller. 100 million. How many zeros is that? I can't ever remember that. What price do I see Doge at the end of 2024 now? It's all dependent. Yep. It's completely dependent. If Dogecoin just follows along with Bitcoin at these 220 Satoshis or whatever, right? If it maintains that, if Bitcoin doubles between now and then is 120,000, then Dogecoin will be 30 cents. That's the easiest answer to that, is if Bitcoin goes to 120K by the end of the year, which some respectable Bitcoin, people are saying $120,000 a Bitcoin in December, then Doge would be 30 cents. If that 220 Satoshi to Doge relationship stays the same. But if we get X integration of Dogecoin, it's going to be a lot more Satoshis for a Doge. Doge is going to skyrocket. That is going to be huge. $100 invested in Dogecoin has been a better return than $100 in a savings account. That's for sure. Except if you bought it at 60 cents, in April of 2021 or early May. Then you're a little down and you're waiting. Is Pepe a token? I think it is. It's built on as an ERC20 token. Pepe was built as an ERC20 token. You could first only buy Pepe on Uniswap. So Pepe is not a coin. Do I think the Bitcoin mining stocks will go up or down? Good question, Throwback. I think there's going to be winners and losers. I think the biggest ones, CleanSpark, Mara, Riot, will probably do well. The others may not survive. We know that they've been selling Bitcoin in order to upgrade rigs because they need to have the fastest. They need to have the best stuff to compete for those rewards. And they also are investing in clean energy because the more they can use off the grid kind of energy, the cheaper their utility costs are. It's all in being able to make a profit. Now, there were many that were saying after the Bitcoin halving, and this was talked about last summer when Bitcoin was trading in like the 30s, that for some of these companies around like $45,000 Bitcoin would be a break-even number after the halving. So, and obviously Bitcoin is now in the 60s. So, but the competition is just going to be, the hash rate is way up. The hash rate is at all-time highs for Bitcoin. So the competition for those rewards is huge. So I don't know. Why not just buy Bitcoin instead of buying mining stocks? That's what I say, right? Just buy Bitcoin and some Doge for the inevitable big Doge pump that's going to happen. I know with Spell, it could be the next Jasmy. Spell could just take off. For those that don't know Spell token, Spell is now at 0.001. So it has to do a 10x to get to a penny. So you can buy a crap ton of these at 0.001. How about that? You can get a lot of Spell tokens. And once this thing starts going crazy, look out. Now, if we go out to the weekly and we look at where Spell was, well, it used to be at up over 2 cents. And then it was a long bear market, 2022 through 2023. So it's had an uptick since January. But a lot of profit taking up here at over 0.0016, 105 to 107 profit taking. But it's got the potential even to get up to half a penny here. You know, that's a 5x from here. So I thought it was worth putting some money into this. So I do own some of that. Doge still going up over 15 cents. Bitcoin coming down just a little bit after hitting 68,000. Look at ETH, now over 3,500. So ETH is trading strong. Good stuff. Yeah, the GameStop movie, Dumb Money. I haven't seen it. I'm just waiting for it to come onto like Netflix or something, and then I'll watch it. It didn't seem like the kind of movie I would want to go to a movie theater to watch. But I'll watch it. It'll be fun. Oh, Tedward, AMC. I don't know. I think we're stuck as bag holders on AMC. They've diluted that stock so bad. There's now so many shares. I don't think the short squeezers want to get it, pump AMC again. So, yeah, I sold half of my AMC stock at about $9. And I still have the other half. But now it's at like 450. It's like half the cost of that. Ugh. Not good. That's what I was thinking, Ryan. If it goes to $3, maybe down to a dollar bear market. Yep. Early investors in Google. Yep. I mean, it takes a risk too. I mean, when earlier days, no one knew what Google was doing. They were the search engine that did not have a strategy. There were no ads. They just had the search engine. Who knew what it was going to become? Who knew? If you lived in Dallas, you'd get season tickets for Doge. Yeah, if the Spurs did that, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? I mean, now they got Wemby, right? It's just like they're going to build around him. People are going to want to play for the Spurs. They're going to have a great team, probably go to an NBA Finals. You know, that's all coming. If they knew what they were doing and smart in marketing, Doge. Personally, I'm not spending Doge on a Dallas Mavericks shirt or even a San Antonio Spurs because I'm in Boston and I'm with the Celtics. So, Mega Millions and Powerball are both up. Yeah, I don't play those. The chances of winning those, I mean, you just put your money in Doge and you get a 5 or 10x. It's like, why play lottery when the chances are astronomical that you win anything? Vincent, welcome. Another new member today. Welcome to the channel. Long overdue. Yes, I agree. All-time high might not be in 2024. May have to wait till 2025. We'll see. I don't trust Elon and his time schedules, but we could see it in 24. We just don't know. Yeah, Frank stopped buying lottery tickets too. Investing in crypto, better results. I mean, this was almost guaranteed money a year ago, buying crypto. It was guaranteed. Just looking at the 4-year cycles, doing your analysis, seeing how low things had gone. And it was just like, to me, it was a no-brainer. And no, not stocks. I did buy some Tesla stocks. I wanted to support Tesla in the beginning when I first bought it. Beginning of January 2023, I was buying it at like $110 and it went up to 270. And I was like, yeah, that's a great buy. But now it's all gone all the way down to 170. Doge has far outperformed Tesla from that time. It's like, well, I should have just bought Doge then. But, you know, you diversify. And I felt good having some Tesla stock too to support the company, support Elon. I don't know what Red Coin is. Was that the Reddit thing? I know Toncoin of Telegram is doing very well. Floki went up to 002. Shib's just so much bigger already as a market cap. That's why it'll be tough. It's just that much bigger. Buy Dogecoin now or wait for the dip. I can't tell you what to do, Cool Cat, but just read the charts and look at the news. Will there be another dip down below 14 cents now? That's this yellow line. We could. We just traded over up to 15, but we could see it come back and retest. You get 13-cent Dogecoin. That would seem to be reasonable to me, but you don't know. Yeah, I've heard of stacks. I used to own some. I took profit on stacks. I made a decent profit on it because I wanted to get into Celestia and yeah, that one went into Celestia, of which I've made a decent profit on as well, but probably not as much as stacks because stacks just continued going up. But I've got Bitcoin too. Stacks is like an L2 on Bitcoin, and it's still doing very well. But I made a decent profit on my stacks investment that I did. Can Pepe one day become a coin? No, it can't. It was made as a token. It's a token. It does not have its own blockchain like Dogecoin has. Dogecoin is coded as a complete cryptocurrency coin with its own blockchain. I mean, copied off of the Bells code, which was copied from Lucky Coin, which came from Litecoin, which came from Bitcoin. So it's all one big happy family. It wasn't an original coding, and Billy Marcus, of course, admits that he stole the Lucky Coin. Didn't steal. He forked it into its own thing. And that's how he made Dogecoin. But it's its own blockchain. And you can see if you go to what is it? The block. No. I forget the Doge. I forget the Doge Explorer. Here, dogechain.info. That's it right there. So if you go here to dogechain.info, you can actually see the blocks being created on the blockchain that Doge has. Pepe will never have this. Pepe is not a coin. It doesn't have its own blockchain, right? And you can see all the transactions happening on the blockchain as they happen right here. And this is all data coming right from the Dogecoin blockchain. Pretty cool. Look at that now. 10,000 Dogecoin is now $700. And that's how much his rewards are coming out every month. Every month. That's pretty cool. Yeah, lottery tickets. No. You're going to look into Spell? Ryan, for me, it was worth a flyer, right? Just throw a little at, because it's a 1/10 of a penny. It's one of those that just, and it's traded on Coinbase already. So I think there's much less risk in it, like going down huge. Like some of the other new meme tokens that you have no idea. No, drop the million. I don't play those games. I'm not going to be selling way before. I don't play those games. I don't care. Because retail sellers, whoever's listening to me, isn't going to be enough to move the market. When I tell you I'm about to sell, I'm going to sell. And I will do that at that time. But no, I'm not one of those that thinks I'm dumping on everybody. Plus, crypto projects are so huge. I'm not a whale in anything. Plus, I've already told you that when I'm selling, I'm never selling the whole bag of anything. The strategy is to sell in percentages, right? 10%, 20%, 30%, something like that at a time. That's not enough to move the market or dump on anyone. And I have no problem telling people when I'm selling. I have no problem with that. No, I'm not one of them that's going to work like that. Doge NFTs, I'm against them. I'm against them. I think that was more a trial than anything. And I don't think there's a real future there. The concentration of Dogecoin is in its use as a currency. And that's what Elon has even said, right? It's better transactional currency than Bitcoin. And then this thing last week about Tesla and, possibly opening up, transactions. If Elon were to do that, he would want Dogecoin to be free as possible of all this other stuff, like NFTs, layer twos, anything that could clog up the blockchain, because he wants good, efficient transactions to happen, not spiking in fees because somebody's minting a crap ton of NFTs on the Dogecoin blockchain. We don't want that. I think it was fun to show that the Dogecoin blockchain was capable of doing that. But that's not where Dogecoin is going to be successful. Not in that. There's so many other blockchains you can build NFTs on. Now, to do a Dogecoin themed blockchain on, or themed NFT project on Dogecoin, that makes sense. But you're not going to see a bunch of other NFT projects. Like, you're not going to make like kitty cat NFTs on the Dogecoin blockchain. So it doesn't make sense. You can do it much cheaper on other blockchains and more efficient. So imagine Kriss in a Spurs jersey walking around Boston. Yeah. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. What's my average cost? Okay, now I got to go look it up since you asked. What did I buy Spell token at? Because I have it. I bought Spell token on Coinbase. I bought it on December 13th at 0.00055. So I am up. I've doubled now the price. Let me get back to where Spell was here, right? Since you asked. And I'm open about all this stuff. I don't care. It's like, whatever. So Spell is 0011. So I've doubled my price on Spell. But I bought it back here in December. It was right down in here in December. What was the date? The 13th. I guess it was on that dip right there, right above my head. That dip right there. So yeah, 00055, and now it's 00119. So I've doubled since when I bought it back here in December. My goal is to hold it at least until December 2024, so that when I sell for a profit, it's a long-term capital gain. So I'm not selling any Spell tokens until at least middle of December 2024. That's my plan. If something else happens, I read some news or something that abracadabra is like going down, something like that, then maybe I sell the Spell tokens early. Could be the next Dogecoin, no. But on its own, it can do very well. If Elon only knew how many people he would make rich with Doge, I think he knows, Louis. I think Elon knows how many people hold Dogecoin. He's looked into it. He knows that with Doge integration, the Doge price will go up and it will make a lot of people a lot of money. Yeah. Well, look at SUI going up. I just saw that on my screen here because I own SUI now. And SUI is going up. Nice. So SUI is one that I bought after getting out of Arbitrum, because I sold Arbitrum because of the big Arbitrum unlock, and Arbitrum has gone down quite a bit. I sold Arbitrum at $1.94. It's down to $1.75. And I bought into Injective and SUI. And look at SUI. So I might buy back into Arbitrum maybe in April with some of my April money. We'll see when it gets to April. But yeah, SUI was a good buy. I think SUI, I was going between SUI and SAY, and I ended up SUI. We'll see. And Injective had already gone on a huge run in 2023. I wasn't into it, but it looked like it was ready to go on a second run. So I bought some Injective too, and I'm up on that as well. I own 26 different cryptocurrencies. I showed in my, about a month ago, I showed my portfolio, which was this. This is what I had a month ago. Because people are asking what I have in my portfolio, and I don't mind sharing what I have in my portfolio. So this is my portfolio. Now I don't have the Arbitrum anymore. I got rid of that. And now I've got SUI and Injective. I had already sold the stacks and bought into Celestia, so that's here. And I had already done very well. So the darker colors at that time were the ones that I had the most profit on: Doge, Mutable X, and Celestia. Since then, the render is now probably dark green now. I've got it on a different spreadsheet that does this for me. So the render is now up much higher. And then Shib went on a run and turned dark. It was still kind of flailing here, but Shib moved up. Avalanche, the Algorand. I bought big into Algorand and just waiting. But people are asking about my portfolio. So this is 26 coins. So here's Spell and Bonk down here. So these are the ones that I don't have a ton in, but again, it's just a flyer at a low cost. You don't know what's going to happen. And Aptos just woke up this past week. So Aptos has moved up a bit. So that's my portfolio for those that were wondering. Diversified. It's got a little bit of stuff, some gaming, blockchain stuff. It's got Chainlink. So I still have Optimism as a ETH layer 2. And that's gone up quite a bit. But I got out of Arbitrum just because of that huge token unlock, and Arbitrum dumped. I knew that was going to happen. And I warned Bullrun on that. Bullrun went ahead and bought anyway and is now down. I said, got to wait for that token unlock. But these things happen. It'll probably do very well. I'm a dolphin, not a whale. Voice of Reason. Thank you so much. Appreciate the super chat very much. Let me get this set back. I was looking at these other screens and I didn't see the super chat come in. Thank you. Took a bit of profit at 19 cents. Still have 21 million Doge. That's right. You don't sell it all. You never sell it all, right? You sell in chunks, right? You take some profit. And even at 19 cents, right, you could buy back in at 15 with some of that profit if you wanted to. Or maybe wait for it to drop to 13 again, which it might do. But yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, it's really a waiting game. But sometimes you might need the money for something too. And you just feel like it's topped out here and it's going to be a while. And so you let that ride. But that's awesome. And again, thanks for the support. Appreciate it. So Louis asked about market caps. So market caps is just the math. It's the math of the price times the circulating supply of the coin. So right now, Bitcoin has 19.6 million coins. The max it'll be is 21 million. But it's not going to get to 21 million for another 100 years or more. But right now it's 19 million coins. So you multiply the number of coins or tokens by the price, and you get the market cap. So 1.3 trillion. So you come down here and you look at Dogecoin. So Dogecoin, there's 143 billion Dogecoin now in circulation. So at a price of 15 cents, it has a higher market cap than Avalanche, which is at $56. But that's because there's only 377 million Avalanche. So there's a lot of people who don't even look at coin prices. They trade by market cap because it's market cap that determines the project, not the price. Because every coin has a different supply, a different amount of coins or tokens in circulation. So when you're looking just at price, that's not the only determining factor of why you should buy a crypto. Like we were just talking about Spell token at 0.001, right? Well, Spell token might not be any better than Avalanche at $56. In fact, you probably could make more of a profit with Avalanche at $56 than Spell token at 0.001. You can buy a lot more Spell tokens, right, than Avalanche tokens, but there's no guarantee that it's going to go up 10x. You don't know. So that's kind of the basics on market cap. What is the fastest proof of work blockchain? Well, some say XRP, but XRP isn't a true proof of work. It's technically, I don't even know what it's called, but out of all of the coins, XRP is the fastest. But it's not the same kind of proof of work as Bitcoin and Dogecoin. It does something else, and I don't know the specifics of it because I'm not an XRP nerd. I don't know the details, but XRP is faster. Dogecoin is faster than Bitcoin. That I know. There were a few times Dogecoin slowed down last summer, but that's because people were minting a bunch of those NFTs, those Doginals, and it slowed Dogecoin down a little bit, which is why I don't really like that to continue for Doge. I appreciate it, Voice of Reason. Thank you. 12.9. Well, there you go. You got the dip. Nice job. JD's a poor teacher with some Doge. And for everyone, you get the Doge that, your financial situation is different than Voice of Reason's and mine. And you invest in what you can. And there's always a risk too. You don't know what's going to happen with these cryptocurrencies. There's no guarantees. You don't know. It's always risky, but it's worth having some though. Even if it's 18,000 like Jajo, that's good for Jajo, right? And it's 6 cents. That's a great average. And it'll be even greater when Doge goes on a huge run. Frank says, yeah, I bought some Doge as a joke. And then you just watch it keep going up in value. And it's just like some joke, huh? There's real money there in that joke. That is what caused all of the problems back in 2014 was with Jackson and Billy, because they made Dogecoin as a joke. But then because it became so popular and so many people were buying it, and buying it just for the fun of it, buying it for to raise money for, someone mentioned the NASCAR, right, to support a NASCAR driver, the Jamaican bobsled team, water wells in Africa, like all of this stuff. People were just, and Dogecoin was so cheap, it was 0.0007, right? Not 007, 0007. And it was, there was a lot of fun there, a huge Reddit community, just having a bunch of fun with it. But then because so many people were buying it, well, the price was going up, right? And as the price was going up, you started to get more and more people thinking about it as a way to make money, as opposed to just being a fun meme cryptocurrency. And what Billy told me when I interviewed him a few years ago, he said that the whole community started getting toxic because there was a split between those that were in it for the money versus those that were in it for the fun. And it didn't have the same vibe as we have today, where we're kind of in it for both. It's both. But at that time, it wasn't. And there was a big divide. And it was pissing the hell out of Jackson and Billy, just what was going on. Huge pressure to like put a cap on Dogecoin like Bitcoin, right? So the price would go up even more. Like all of that stuff was going on. And Jackson and Billy both decided they had enough with it. It's like, that's not what we got into it for, was the money side. So yeah, as Frank says, bought some as a joke, but you see it going up. You see your portfolio, the value of it go up, right? I look at that as, I look at that as being buying power. That's what I look at it as. Like this Doge right here that I have, this is just memorabilia coin, but the Doge I bought at 2 cents, right? When it's at 20 cents, it has 10 times the buying power. So yeah, there's a monetary incentive there to buy Doge cheap, but I do it so that I can use it and I can buy things with it and have 10 times the buying value, or hopefully maybe one day 100 times the value. We were talking about Ferrari, like when Ferrari comes out, well, they did, right? You can now use Dogecoin to buy a Ferrari, right? Well, if you bought a crap ton of Dogecoin at 2 cents and Doge is $2, the actual money that you use to buy that car is not a lot. I mean, for $2,000, you're buying a $200,000 car, right? That's the power of Dogecoin, is that. So, but we can still have fun with it. We can still do dogs and memes and all of that. That's why Elon likes it too. But Elon also knows the potential that it has. So, yeah. And right, what Nate says is true as well. When Doge hits its all-time high, will actually be a higher market cap than 2029 or 2021. I think 69 cents will be the new market cap all-time high spot price, which is hilarious that it just works out that 69 cents, right, would be the new market cap all-time high for Doge at 69 as opposed to 74. But yeah, because there's more Doge in circulation now than there was in 2021. Voice of Reason, thank you so much. Sixer of brews. I will do that. Friday, I'll have a brew during the live stream. I will get some. I just got back from Italy and I don't have any alcohol in the house. So I got to load up. So thank you for that. I'll get something nice too, not just the cheap Miller Lite stuff. So thank you. Subway footlong, over 6 million Doge at a 2-cent average, holding till $4. Hope it gets there. I will still have some at $4, but I will have sold some of it for profit. Again, the investment side of me says, take some profits this time, because I didn't in 2021, held all the way up and all the way back down. And I'm just not going to do that again. But I'm not selling all my Dogecoin. We'll never do that. Pepe will not be limitless money for all people. Debo hype. It will not. Pepe is also not a coin. It's a token. We talked about that earlier. It's currently going up, but then you buy it now. You're buying it at a higher price, and it could dump on you. Just saying, that could happen. Ryan says, a friend of mine told me about Doge in January 21. I had to look into it, haven't looked back since. Same with me. I think I knew about it. I first heard about Dogecoin in the summer of 2020 when the TikTokers were pumping it. And there was this whole, I think it was July 2020, there was this whole TikTok thing about if everybody on TikTok bought $10 worth of Dogecoin, then it would pump the price to $1 and everybody would be rich. That was the thing, right? It was that kind of thing. And I heard about that and I looked at the price of it. And of course, like 2 days later, after the Doge price had doubled, it dumped. It went from like 0.002 up to like 0.004, almost 0.005, and then it dumped right back down. So that was July 2020. But then after the Elon tweet of one word Doge in late December 2020, and then in early 2021, again, I was doing that stock swing trading at the time. But then when the Redditors, the Wall Street bet gang, were complaining about all that GameStop stuff that was going on, and they said that they were going to pump Dogecoin, I was like, now I'm buying. And that's when I bought 500,000 Dogecoin for $10,000. So that was my entry into Doge, buying it, and I haven't looked back since. So, yeah, Louis, we talked about the Coinbase futures thing. They've applied for it to the CFTC. It's not really a launch thing yet. Jack Tripper, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. 30-cent Doge in 2024. Yes, I firmly believe that we will see that price in 2024. I'm actually targeting 35 cents. I have that on my weekly chart here. That's this yellow line here. This is the 35-cent line. This is my target line because after Dogecoin came down from its all-time high back here in July of 2021, it actually traded back up to 35 cents here in August of 2021. That's right there. And with that, trading back up, and then it actually came back and retested it in November, October, November 2021. Before then entering the bear market after Bitcoin hit its 69K all-time high. And Dogecoin then traded down with it. So that's my target, is 35 cents right there. I think there'll be some resistance there. But yeah, that's where I think Doge could be. Frank bought Doge at 0.005, half a penny in 2019. You've been holding a long time. Robinhood, I mean, you got to give Robinhood credit for, I mean, maybe they didn't know at the time what Dogecoin would become, but to be one of the first exchanges to list Dogecoin like that, I mean, they were ahead of so many. I mean, Coinbase didn't list it until after the whole pump in April and May of 2021. Coinbase lost so much potential money by not having Dogecoin in early 2021. They lost out so big. Unbelievable. But Robinhood made like 70% of their overall profit for the company in 2021 was because of Dogecoin trading. Dogecoin trading. Crazy. Dream Take says holding to $1,000. Sam Adam says, okay, I'll get a Sam. I'll get it. For April, May, we talked about Doge probably following Bitcoin. So I could see Doge getting back up to 20 cents before the halving, and then there being some turbulence after the halving, because there's going to be minor capitulation, and I think it's going to be some tough trading in the crypto market after the halving. So May may be not a great month. But we could also see like Grayscale, like really slowing down the selling of Bitcoin while new spot ETF buyers are coming in, and BlackRock, ARK, all of those just continuing to accumulate more Bitcoin as Bitcoin becomes more scarce and more scarce and more scarce. Could offset any minor selling that's going on. But I think there's going to be a lot of minor selling Bitcoin late April into May. And we have to be careful about that. Adam holding Doge since 2021 as well. A lot of us started then. Yep. They can keep producing as much Doge as they want. No, that is not correct. There is a maximum of 10,000 Dogecoin that are produced every minute. So you can see each of these are new blocks that are created on the Dogecoin blockchain. It happens every minute, and the reward is given out to the miners every minute, and it's 10,000 Doge. That number will never change. It's not limitless. It's a fixed number. And over time, as Dogecoin grows in its total circulating supply, that 10,000 Doge becomes a smaller and smaller percentage of the overall total that's brought into the market through the mining year after year after year. It's a fixed number. It's not limitless. Infinite? Well, I mean, over the span of time, sure, you could say infinite, but it's not infinite in a year. It's always the same number, because time is by minute and new blocks that are created on the blockchain, and that is the new Doge that comes out. The new Doge that comes out goes to the miners, those that are mining Dogecoin. And in mining Dogecoin, they're verifying the transactions on the blockchain, which are all of these that are happening. All these transactions that happen, they all need to be verified. And so that mining reward is given for verifying the transactions every minute. Now, Bitcoin's is every 10 minutes. Dogecoins is every 1 minute. And there's 10,000 new Doge every minute. It's a fixed number. Okay? So that's how it works. Some say 10,000 is a lot, but that's what it is. So you can either complain about it or you can live with it. I choose to live with it. I accept it. That's part of what Doge is. But you know what has never happened? Right? Last month, the Solana blockchain stopped. Dogecoin's blockchain has never stopped. Other blockchains get hacked. Dogecoin's blockchain has never been hacked. Right? There's a lot of these building bridges, right, between blockchains. There's no bridge. Dogecoin doesn't need a bridge, right? The bridges, like the Harmony got a lot of crap a couple of years ago because the Ronin bridge got hacked. And everyone was saying it was a problem with Harmony. It wasn't a problem with Harmony. There was nothing wrong with the Harmony's blockchain. It was the bridge that got hacked. They never should have done that bridge. So they got a lot of crap for that. But it was like, but Dogecoin, safe and secure. That's the first thing you need in cryptocurrency is security. And Dogecoin, never been hacked. Blockchain has never gone down. It just keeps producing new Doge every minute to the miners who are verifying the transactions on the blockchain. So you can't argue against that because it's like that safety and security is number one. Bitcoin, same thing. Bitcoin's never been hacked. Bitcoin's never gone down. The blockchain just keeps cranking. But you hear a lot of problems with Solana and others. They're proof of stake. They've got problems. They're just like, ugh. No, you just need Doge. Doge is quietly breaking out. Zippy. Very quiet. Let me look at this. Since I've been live, look at what Dogecoin has done. Just not huge candles, but nice, consistent, steady green candles up. Right? That's pretty good. That's better trading for Dogecoin than these big ones that come up really quick, and then you get the red one just retracing right back down. No, I like these little ones, just consistent, going up in price. That's good for me. Is Shib going to eat another zero? Thank you for the super chat. Yes. I think that's my target for possibly this fall. Is Shib breaking its previous all-time high and shedding a zero? I think that's going to happen. And that's why I've got a bag of Shib. Because I don't want to be sitting on the sideline. In 2021, when Shib went crazy, I didn't have any Shib. Well, of course, Shib was the Dogecoin killer then, right? So it would have been like totally against my nature. Like everyone following me would have been like, when you own Shib. But now it's like, I want to make money too. And that's one of them I'll be selling completely. If Shib goes up and goes to 100, from where it is now, 27, I just call it 27. And I know it's actually 0.00027. I just call it 27. So if you can do a 4x from here and break 100, I'm selling. I'm selling it all. I'm taking the profit. And I don't care. I'm in it for the money, for Shib. Because I missed out in 2021. That would be a 10x for me because I bought it at 10. So now I'm up, almost a 3x on my original Shib purchase about a year ago. And so from here, it's like, I'm just going to take the profit. I'm in it for making money. Doge, like I explained earlier, I'm in that for the fun, the dogs and the memes, and the buying power of Doge, of being to actually use Dogecoin to buy things but having that exponential buying power because I bought it at a low price. So if you've got a 7-cent average on Dogecoin, and Dogecoin is currently trading at 70 cents, you've got 10 times the buying power. So you buy 2 movie tickets at AMC for $16 and you actually only paid $1.60. That's the power of Dogecoin. That's what I keep saying. People don't think about it in those terms, but I do. You actually want to use it. And that's what's fun about Dogecoin too. It's like you're spending it, but you're spending it not as one-to-one like dollars, but with that extra exponential buying power, because you didn't buy it at 70 cents, you bought it at 7 cents. And then it's trading at 70 cents and it's like 10 times the buying power. That's like buying that $200,000 Ferrari for $20,000, actual money, what you would have ended up spending. $20,000 for a Ferrari. Not saying I'm going to buy a Ferrari. I don't really want one. But that's the power of Dogecoin. Always good to be here. Glad to have you, Tobbs. Let's go. Let's go. That was the old Tom Brady like scream, like, let's go. Or LFG for him. I thought you bought Shib also. Already doubled your investment. Going to hold it. A penny? No. Shib's not going to a penny, Frank. No. That's losing 2 zeros. No. That's too big. There's 589 trillion tokens here. It's not going to a penny. That would be a $5 trillion market cap. What is the total market cap of all cryptocurrencies right now? 2.48 trillion. That would be double the size of everything in crypto today. Would be Shib at a penny. That's not happening. That's not happening, Frank. So maybe lower your expectations a little bit. Grillo wants 31 cents. Well, like I said, at 35-cent Doge, I may take a little profit. Again, I still have a bunch of Doge that I bought at 2 cents. So selling that at 35 cents is a decent profit. But I may change my mind and wait a little longer depending on what's going on with Doge before I start doing that. We'll see. The Shib coins that are they're in the millions. They need to be burning hundreds of billions of tokens. I don't want to hear about 25 million Shib being burnt because that's nothing. That's like a few dollars. It's nothing. So you have to watch that. It sounds like a lot. Well, they just burned 25 million Shib. That's 25 million Shib is nothing. It's not a significant number at all. Plus, there's not a lot of people building stuff on Shibarium that would cause that burn action to happen. So all this hype about Shibarium is, going to have all these great projects, and the more Shibarium is used, the more Shib gets burned. It's not being used. It's just not so far. That doesn't mean that won't come, but right now, yeah, not really. Not really. Holding till 99 cents. That's Kavi's point where going to be taking profits at 99. We had a 98 earlier and a 92, so, or 94. So yeah, I think in the 90s, it's going to be really hard for Dogecoin to get to $1. You're going to have a lot of people taking profits in the 90s. Yeah. And we talked about $3 Doge. It was like 2 weeks ago. We did a whole session on what $3 Doge would look like. And I think $3 Doge is actually doable. I mean, you look at the market cap right now at 15 cents, $21 billion. There's 143 billion Dogecoin. You multiply that by 3 for $3, right? And you get about a 4.2 billion, I'm sorry, $420 billion market cap. Well, that puts it right where Ethereum is. That's not unreasonable. If Dogecoin is being used as the currency on X and Tesla's accepting Dogecoin as payment, $3 Dogecoin is not out of the question. It really isn't. You're not talking about trillion-dollar market cap like Bitcoin, but you're talking about a use case, and then it makes sense. Bitcoin, number one, store of value, limited supply, all of that, yada, yada, yada. ETH, smart contracts, makes sense. Building a lot of great things on ETH. But number three, Dogecoin as the currency. That makes sense to me. $3 Dogecoin is not out of the question at all. We'll see. Michael Saylor says less than 1% of the world currency is invested in crypto. Crypto's still in its infancy. People eventually learn about crypto and invest. We'll see about that. Right now, I mean, the word of Bitcoin is still slowly getting out there. But I mean, I was just in Italy for 10 days. I didn't see one Bitcoin sign. I didn't see anything about cryptocurrency. I was in Rome and Florence, a couple of other smaller towns. Nothing. So it's not out there. Crypto is just not out there. Now, some countries like El Salvador were just, they're the exception. They're not the norm. So what Michael Saylor says, yes, that's true, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I do watch David every once in a while. He's got a different style, pretty laid back. He repeats a lot of his chart diagramming and philosophies. But yeah, good guy. I had him on my channel a number of years ago as a guest. We chatted for, it was like an hour and a half or something. It was good. Yeah, good guy. He's got a good following, really good following. He started really more on the business side. And so that's the angle he came from, which is pretty good. But yeah, for Doge content, it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. Yeah, and yeah, Kavi, that's right. $400 billion market cap for Doge is not a lot if the total crypto market goes up to 10 trillion. That's true. That is true. Frank, that's not exactly true. El Salvador's entire currency is not based on Bitcoin. El Salvador's currency is actually based on the US dollar, but they accept Bitcoin as currency as well. And then the whole idea of setting up Lightning Network and having the unbanked, right, be able to use Bitcoin, from everything that I've read, it's not really happening. So it's not all that it was cracked up to be. Now, Bukele has convinced the El Salvadorian government to buy a bunch of Bitcoin. And they started buying when Bitcoin was, $50,000, $60,000 3 years ago. And as Bitcoin went down and down and down, 40,000, 30,000, 20,000, 15,000, that wasn't looking so hot. And Bukele was taking a lot of heat for it. But you know what? Like Michael Saylor, right? He just kept buying. And now, with Bitcoin up at 67K, the country of El Salvador is in the best financial position it has ever been in. Ever. That's amazing. And it's also, he's got the support across the board. He's cleaning up crime in the country. It's like all of these great things are happening. It's because of Bitcoin, but the entire currency is not based on Bitcoin. So just wanted to clarify that. Dogecoin hitting $1 is like Bitcoin hitting 100K. It's going to be a big event, yes, in that term, right? Like not the actual financial part of it, but sort of the press on it, right? And the exposure. Yes, that's going to be huge. Dogecoin's got a long way to go to get to $1, though. Bitcoin's going to hit 100K long before Doge hits $1. Most likely. But you never know with Doge. You never know. These other cryptos, there's Solana coming back up to over $190. I don't know why people keep buying this, but unbelievable. There's Shib still going up. Here's the Bone token going up. Everything's going up. Harmony One coming back up. These are all coins that I have. VeChain back up over 4 cents. Crypto.com, Crow, 14 cents. Ethereum Classic back over $30. So yeah, we're getting good recoveries across the cryptos. Cool to see. Yeah, and our stupid US government. Most of that is like Elizabeth Warren, and like they're in bed with the banks, and the banks don't like crypto. So that's where most of that is coming from. Oh. I know, it's like that meme, right, of the two windows, and nobody is at the window, where like Dogecoin at, well, even now like 15 cents, but Dogecoin at $1 has this long line of people, right? You know that meme? It's like that, right? The same with Bitcoin at 100K. All of a sudden, it's going to be like such a big event. You're going to get people buying Bitcoin at 100K, and they could be buying now in the 60s. Yeah. Yeah, why didn't I buy Solana? Ugh. I made a profit on my Solana. I doubled my money on Solana. I could have done a 10x though. Could have done a 10x. But Solana dipping down, it was like, I'm already into Cardano and like all these others, and I didn't have the cash to buy back into Solana at 140, so I didn't. I doubled my money on my Solana investment. I felt good about that. Missed out on a lot of gains on that. But my Cardano, I bought at 24 cents though, is gone 2.5x, right? So, and who knows, Cardano may outrun Solana. Cardano usually lags. That's what happened last bull run, is Cardano went on a run pretty much after everything else had. And that's what I was thinking about when I took the Solana profit and I transferred over. We don't know what's going to happen with all those Solana tokens that are locked up in FTX. Apparently there's like a yearly unlock of like tons of Solana tokens. Their blockchain still having problems. There was just a thing the other day, or is it some big hiccup on the blockchain? People still buy it and it goes up 190 bucks back up. Just, I don't know. I hear there's a bunch of VCs getting behind it now, and yeah. Yeah, I do have Cardano. I do have Cardano. And AJ, I bought it. I rotated from Solana into Cardano, seeing that I thought Cardano would go on a run after Solana did. And it just hasn't yet. So, yeah, Charles he's a strange one, that's for sure. Again, it was just for profits. I don't care about Cardano, actually. Just doing it for profit, and I'm going to sell. Hopefully it gets to $1 at least. And it should. $2 is probably a realistic expectation. But George, in this $500 to $1,000 Solana, no. Solana is so big. But he was saying Solana would flip Ethereum, and I don't see it. I mean, look at how the difference between them. Solana's at 85 billion. Ethereum's at 422 billion. So that's Solana doing a 5x with Ethereum standing still. That's not happening. That's just not happening. So no. Maybe in 10 years, it might be different, but it is not happening anytime soon. So, all right, gang, we're going to call it. It was a fun night, long stream, but a lot going on with Dogecoin, that's for sure. And it's fun to be along for the ride. Fun to be along. So thanks for joining in. Everyone stay well. Subscribe if you haven't already. Always hit the like button. Appreciate the support on that. Join the channel or consider joining. We'll talk about it again on Friday. I'll be having a beverage thanks to the super chats. So it'll be a fun one on Friday. Probably do a video tomorrow as well. Again, a lot to cover that's going on in the crypto markets as well. Hope you all are well, and we'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.